And now the end is here, and so we face the final chapter. Man babies will roast Mando, we'll do the gag of who we'd give one. I've watched Lizzo and Black and old Chris Lloyd, but not much Pascal, and more, much more than that. We said this is the way. Regrets, I've had a few, like Canto Bite, Holdo and Tico. I did what I had to do. I killed old Luke, subverting expectations. We planned a new Star Wars, where women rule across the galaxy, and more, so much more shit. Because this is the way. Hello, man babies. We're back for another episode of The Mandalorian. I hope you like that little song. Well, I thought I wasn't going to be here. I thought I'd been benched. I thought I'd been put on the naughty step for the little slip up last week where I demonetized the channel. But never mind, Brownie took me back because he can never do without old ruin. So I hope you're ready for this, folks. It's the finale of The Mandalorian. And of course, I can't take you through this on my own. I need all my buddies to do it with me. So
This is the
one
way.
by one, we're going to bring them out. Thank you on the audio cue there. So first up, it's my number one fan, hailing from a tent in my back garden. He's apparently he's a massive Celtic fan. Make sure you let him know how much he loves the Celts. Set your phases to stunning and brave. He's on the Iron Brew. It's not Brian. How you doing, not Brian?
Hey, good evening, Ruin. Good evening, chat. How are
Yes,
we all?
I see you've transed it up tonight, Brian.
Oh,
You're
yes, bit of
Brian.
This is
trans.
the way.
Yes, kept the beard though. I like the look.
I don't mind being trans, but less of a Celtic supporter, Malarkey, will you, please?
there's levels to these insults, and that one was below the belt. Okay, well, it's the last week. You have to put up with it, Brian. But look, we got a lot to get through, shall I? And we're running an hour late tonight, but that's only because it was a 38-minute episode. So should we get the next retro bait out?
Yes, let's fire on as quick as we can.
Fire it up. Okay, next up from a VPN far, far away, he's the protocol on Adderall, the android with hemorrhoids. It's the golden reacher android of choice. It's Zee-ThreePIO. Hello, Z. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, Master Ruin, how can my introduction possibly rival the dulcet tones of a dozen tortured banthas?
Oh, thank you, Z. Well, I wrote that one while I was sat on the crapper earlier, but I'm glad you appreciated it. And
I most certainly do. It's a much higher writing quality than the episode I watched today.
I've certainly put more effort into that than I did into the Canto Bite scenes in Last Jedi. And look, Gavin appreciates it. He's given us a super sticker, whatever that means. I'm sure Brown could explain. But Gavin, we appreciate it. He's come on over from the Salty Nerd Saturday show. So we love and appreciate it. Gavin, thank you, sir. But Z, we're going to need some more retrobates to get us through this one, I believe. Should we get the next
Yes,
one out?
sir. Let's bring on the next guest.
Okay, so we see the good inside our next guest. You'll find him in the top 100. I believe he's now in the top 50 ASMR artists under the category. Make sure you search this one, guys. Young, posh British twink. It is the rising star of YouTube, Darth Sith Lord George.
I'm trying to work out. Thank you.
Wow.
Trying to work out whether I've gone up into the top 50 on the back of my ASMR skills or my twink skills. And I don't remember practicing the second half of that, so I'm going to assume, oh, for God's sake, someone take the bloody thing away from him.
Terrible.
Good evening, how are you?
Oh, very well. All the better for seeing you. I would ask you more about your twink skills, but we would be treading the line to demonetization probably quite close. So
And we've got a
let's
long
not,
way to go,
we
so
have
that's
got
not
a
do it
long
yet.
way to go. So let's keep it civil. At least get through the first 15 minutes without any dodgy lines. Okay, Lordy, I'm gonna have to insist we bring out someone else to support us on this mission through the mess of the Mandalorian. Should we get them out?
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
It sounds like an innuendo, but it's not what I mean. Instead, I'm bringing out the next guest. He's the wise elder of the channel. For those of you on the dark web, and Franco, I'm looking at you. I've seen you on the dark web. His dark web username is Mandalorian. He wears 3 socks in bed. He is our resident director, the great Mega Geek himself. It's Ian David Diaz. Ka ka ka.
It's 4 socks actually.
4
I said that
socks.
last week.
Yes. One for each foot, one for the midsection, and well,
That's right.
yeah. I'm not even going to go where the other one is, but you don't want to know, folks.
That's right.
We're doing it, Ian. We're back. We're gonna round off the Mandalorian, and well,
Thank God it's finished. That's all I can
it's
say.
nearly over. It's such a shame. We've enjoyed roasting it so
Yeah.
much. Oh well, we've got some good stuff to get into, but I think I don't know about you. I think we need one more retro bait. What do you think? We've got room for a little one, Mega Geek?
Yep, I think so.
Okay. Well, next up, and last up, and most certainly least, he is the man I like to call the Yorkshire Ripper. He is the 50-year-old virgin Paul O'Grady's sexy dame outfit eBay bid winner. It is the man with the channel, Mr. Brown.
Oh, he's not here.
You're not coming to say hello, Mr. Brown?
Hello.
There he is.
He's here, folks.
Hello.
Hello,
Flashbacks
Brownie.
to your last stream when you delayed coming on like that.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
my last girlfriend enjoyed it when I was delaying my coming, as it were. Moving on.
Oh, Brownie, careful. Come on
Bringing
now.
it down.
You read me the right book now. Let's behave yourself.
All right. Hello,
Not all of
everybody.
us, not all of us are
Hello.
old enough to remember 1978 either. So
Neither am I, to be fair, but there you go. Hello, everybody.
So we're back again.
Hello.
We're back. We're going to do it, folks. We're going to get into
Ruin
Mando.
You big, this is the way, man, baby, ruinator of franchises. You, man, baby.
Oh,
Ruin-
that's I get my own little Brownie
Hello.
style intro. Hello, sir.
This is
Good
the
to
way.
have you. Good to have you with us. This is the way. And did you like my little take on Frank Sinatra at the sort of start there? This is the way.
I was feeling it, yes. It was fantastic.
Are you feeling yourself? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, look, I don't have the script in front of me. I'm going to freestyle this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the day is Burley, Wednesday, the 19th of April, the year of our Lord 2023, and we are reviewing Season 3, Episode 8, Chapter Who the F Knows of The Mandalorian. See, I'm already
Yes.
self-censoring. It's the finale. That's all you need to know. It's the finale. We're here. All your favorite retro baits, and can I just say the best goddamn chat
Oh, yeah.
anywhere you'll find at this time on a Wednesday
92
in
people.
April. Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Admittedly,
And,
75 are my stooge accounts, but there you go.
But look, we love you all. We hope you're on form tonight. We
Hello,
need you.
chat.
We need you to get through this. God damn it! So, okay. So, Brownie, what have I forgot to say? That's normally it. I think we go to the small text,
yeah,
don't we? And
do
we
the
encourage
disclaimers,
them.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Legal disclaimers, okay. So just
yes.
legally like to point out that anything we say can't be held against us in a court of law. Also, if you've made it this far, if your eyesight's that good, then please like, share, subscribe. Every single click will help this channel
yes.
grow. And on to that note, host man Socrates, Brownie, I feel as though you should read out the first $5 in your knickers.
The Bank of Hostman for $5 at this point I feel like Alex in a Clockwork Orange being brainwashed watching these reviews. Please stop. I beg of thee.
Well, I'm afraid he's paid, so we have to abide by his request. So everybody,
That's
thanks,
it.
thanks for coming.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Great stream.
We'll see you
Chop the
all next
sweets.
year for season 4.
Shall we quickly do another super chat?
Oh, why not? Oh,
Would you like to
wow.
read it, Ruin?
Oh, I'd love to, because I do love Orton's. He's missing some vowels, just like Mando's missing a plot. But our TNZ ZZ says with a rather generous $11. Is that New Zealand dollars?
It is.
Oh, I'm on form tonight, folks. Early unpopular opinion. Mildly entertaining episode relied on tons of dumb decisions, and the title should have been Pew Pew, Smack Boom, Shake the Room, but not as painful to watch as Last Jedi. Screw you, or TNZ. I don't appreciate the end of that. Give him his money back. Boot him off the stream.
He's right though, but you can say that about almost the entirety of the season. Like the entire thing relies on dumb decisions. The writing is uniformly abysmal. It makes no goddamn sense. It's always mildly entertaining because even when it's like suddenly pterodactyl steals child, that's quite good fun. It clearly doesn't hate you. The show doesn't hate the audience in the way that TLJ did, for example. But I just think that at least it didn't hate me is not a good standard of criticism.
We've not even started yet.
Oh, he's getting fired up already.
Coming in
Well,
hot.
look, we need to establish the rules of the drinking game, and I know some of my fellow retro baits are already on the lash, so to speak. Obviously, there's the member berry, and there are a few in this episode. Other standard take a drink is when Mega Geek loses his shit. So when Mega Geek says, "Oh, it's just shite," then it's a cue for a drink. So hope you feel well stocked up, folks. Any other submissions from my fellow?
Before I forget, super chat from Dark Hour for $2. Let's not get bogged down.
Oh, in what?
It disappeared.
Anything in particular?
No, just getting bogged down. It
Just
disappeared off
generally.
The feed.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not get bogged down in getting
bogged down.
Yes. Okay. We're still waiting for the T-shirt, Brown. So, are we all strapped on, ready to go?
Yes.
Let's goddamn do this. So previously, we always need a elongated backstory to the side quest, to the God knows what. But we go back to Captain Lesbian, or whatever her name is. Hope I'm not pushing buttons there. But what's her name? Anyone? Seal knows.
Elia Kane.
There we go.
So you just forestalled about half an hour of the chat coming up with incredibly offensive names. Well done.
Oh no, I'm not letting them off that easily. Come on, chat. We'd like Captain Lesbian's alternative names, please. But yes, we need to be reminded why we ever saw her in the first place, and it's because our old friend there, his name
Gideon
Moth is. Yeah, well, we'll revisit the plot at some point if there is one, but apparently he's doing stuff with clones. I don't know. We're going to see some clones at some point. God knows what's going on. Mando Glastonbury, or something like that.
Yeah.
This is all the backstory, isn't it? And then we've got the fleet. There he is, folks. Look at that. Take a drink. That's the other one. And God, we're going to be low on drinks by the end of the night. Every time Brownie...
I need more.
Drops his pants and gives it a little... Look at that.
Look at that.
You like this ship, don't you, Brown?
I do. Everybody likes them, don't they?
Les Bro. Oh.
Look who it is. Our channel favourite, everybody.
I think that's Hasbro's sister brand, isn't it?
It
Les Bro. The punchline is your tagline, rather, your catchphrase. Yeah, cap locks on. Yeah, so we're being reminded here that the Mandalorian have effectively put their misgivings, the conflicts aside, and they've regrouped, and they're going to retake Mandalore.
Ruin, if I may be so rude.
Rude Johnson. Yes.
What about just a sentence or two from each of us saying, did we like this episode? And then we'll just plough through it.
Okay.
Because I did feel this was slightly better than most of the
Uh,
episodes, didn't you?
Well, yeah, actually, we had the chat in the green room, so
did?
maybe we can replicate the chat in the green
Yeah.
room. So I mean, we were going down an '80s comedian rabbit hole, Brown and I, and we were
did.
trying to work out who said the immortal line, playing all the right notes but not in the right order. I'm sure someone in the chat will clarify. I thought it was Les
Eric
Dawson.
Morecambe.
It was
Eric
Eric
Morecambe.
Morecambe. Brownie, you were right.
Yeah.
I doff my cap to you. But that's what it felt like to me. There's things to admire. There's things to like. We always love the visuals, but there's some moments. There's some characterizations. There's some little scenes. But for me, it rushed its damn way through the plot too quickly. That's my little synopsis. Brian, give me yours.
Do you know what? It's a low effort stream for me tonight, and I'm literally just going to read out the notes that I scrambled down while having a hangover just before I started watching Lorraine this morning. So I was bored, senseless despite the action, because I don't care about the characters. Not one character do I give a monkeys about. I don't care about the creed. I think the Mandalorians themselves are simply Boba Fett cosplayers. I just don't think they've got any interesting qualities, flaws. I think the only slight spark is Botox Karen's backstory, which could have been interesting had they explored it a bit more, but they really didn't do that. I just think the show's got no brain, no heart, no soul. I think the ending could have been good if they'd had a solid goal they worked towards, instead of just meandering all over the place the way they did. I think the only redeeming quality this has is the visuals, which I think with Doug Chiang again, who's been knocking it out of the park since about 1997, it's the only thing I like about it.
Oh, okay. Not such a positive response from Brian. Could be the fact he's got a stinking hangover. But let's go to our oiled up droid and see if he's got anything more positive. Z, what did you think in your little pithy opening gambit, if you would, sir?
Well, last week, Jon Favreau promised fans that they will feel resolved and satisfied after the finale. Jon Favreau is a fucking liar.
Well, I asked to be short and snappy, and you gave it to us. See, can you take anything redeemable from this episode, or is it all just a pile of
It
stinking
looks
spur?
fantastic. Just look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Look at that slide. Oh, that reminds me, a correction on the Paz Vizsla statement from one of the previous streams. Jon Favreau only did the voice because he's too fat to get into the suit.
Oh, God.
Tate Fletcher
this is
provided
the
the
way.
body, who was Lester in Breaking Bad and Brad in Waco.
Top trivia.
We thought he was in the suit. Well done, Z. You don't get this on Doomcock, folks. You know, you only get this kind of knowledge here of a Wednesday night. Okay, Z, we've got an angry Z tonight. Could be fun, folks. Lordy, you've already given us a little bit of an inkling on where you're going, but yeah, what are your general overview on this one?
I'm with the two preceding panelists. It's like smashing your toys together as a kid, but with less story than that. So it's kind of fun. It looks impressive, and you can imagine ways in which it could have been even better. And in your mind, your headcanon can go places with The Mandalorian that the show just can't. But the show itself, it's just another collection of just random contrived events. We've had suddenly Crocodile, suddenly Pterodactyl, there's a suddenly Grogu later in this one. Nothing actually connects together. It's just a series of vaguely pretty scenes. And the writers in the interim apparently were asleep or doing something else, or high, or God knows what, but they weren't doing their job.
There we have it. Brownie, I don't know about you, but the numbers are looking rather tidy tonight.
129, yes.
Is it because we're all naked and we've got the cameras on? Is that why? Or?
And oiled up, yes. I
there
think
we
we're going to
go,
have to
folks.
find something to do next Wednesday, aren't we?
Oh, we will. Mega. Now, Mega's normally the voice of positivity. He's been a big advocate for Mandalorian, so I'm sure he's going to give us a bit more positivity as opposed to the previous three retrobates. Mega, Hit me with it.
Well, well, it was a shit episode. Let's face it. But I did enjoy the action though. The action was quite a lot of fun. And special effects were again really really cool special effects. But this is what the whole show should have been about Gideon coming back and being evil and stuff like that. But I'm really puzzled why they had nonsensical stories before this. There should have been the whole. How many episodes were they, by the way? Because I keep
8
forgetting.
in the 8. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Eight,
it should have, the whole of the 8 should have been about him trying to take down the Mandalorians, shouldn't it? It shouldn't have been about the robot that they didn't build
Sorry,
and
Luke.
and Baby Yoda doing rubbish and the dinosaur that comes out of the water and all that nonsense. None of that should be in it. It should have been about the Mandalorians and this fella here. How comes he forgot about Baby Yoda? Because when he first appeared, he was after Baby Yoda, right? And then suddenly,
Get your
Baby
drinks
Yoda
ready,
doesn't.
folks.
Oh God, he's
No,
winding
Baby
it
Yoda
up.
doesn't matter anymore.
No, it's a
for
really
him.
good point, and it becomes a huge problem later in this episode as well.
Yeah.
We'll get there, but basically, he rediscovers the reason that he wanted Baby Yoda to begin with. It's just that he doesn't realize he's rediscovered that need and want, so he just tries to kill him. There's some issues that we will come to.
Yeah, just a bit annoying, really. But as I said, there were some enjoyable moments in there, visual effects wise, and and pew pews and stuff. But apart from that, it was still a shit episode, wasn't it? I mean, could have been better. But look, the whole problem with it is the script's not very good, and the whole idea for the series wasn't very good either. So anyway, I'll leave it there, shall I?
Well, you better had, because Andy Mouse 123 hasn't yet seen it. So
Spoilers.
no more spoilers, folks. We're going
Well, what are
do
you
the rest
doing
of
here
this.
if you haven't seen it?
We're going to do the rest of this spoiler free. Okay,
Spoilers.
can we manage that?
No.
more spoilers.
He just hates efficiency. He wants to spend 3 hours going through the episode as opposed to 48 minutes.
I do believe there's a significant portion of our chat who hasn't watched the Mando at all.
I don't
That's
think
the
they
reason
care.
why
They
they
just
come here.
Yeah, they come here. They
Turns
don't
up.
even watch it.
They don't watch it. They don't want to watch it.
Turn up to hear us tear the shit out of it. But Brownie, we can't forget you, because I do believe you may have a slightly more positive view than the others. What do you think?
I quite enjoyed this episode. I kind of.
Tell them how you feel, chat.
I think somewhere in this series there was a half decent series wanting to get out somewhere, but it's the writing is just so all over the shop. It was just a mess, which we've said every week. I did enjoy this episode. It seemed to be a little bit more Star Wars. Again, it looks fantastic. I was going, oh, look at that! But
I've actually got a line in the Mando video I'm doing at the moment, which is the Mandalorian is like a drunk person's idea of what Star Wars is. And but I don't mean that to be entirely insulting to it. I mean, you compare it to The Last Jedi as the obvious go-to example, or you compare it to Obi-Wan, or you compare it to The Rise of Skywalker. The Mandalorian is more recognizably Star Wars than any of those things. It's just that it looks like Star Wars through blurred eyes. And when you're not really paying any attention to it, so you have it. I think you said it, Brown, like ages ago. It's Mr. Brown. Sorry, Sir Brown, Mr. Brown of
just
Mr.
Mr.
Brown.
Brown's fine.
Okay, Mr. Brown. You said it ages ago. This is a show for people who are spending most of their time on their phone, and occasionally, every 5 minutes or so, are looking up, and it's lasers. That looks good, and then they go back to their phone again.
Brilliant.
Can you just always refer to the Lord as Lord, please, Brown, as well, while we're getting accurate on titles, okay? And do we need to check pronouns with everyone, or are we all good?
We're all good. We're all good.
Okay, no one's taking the bait. Okay, look, general consensus from absolutely abysmally shite to mildly irritating, and Brownie's the outlier with he quite enjoyed it, folks. So
I think if each episode was probably a reasonable level of quality like this one was, I think we might have been in a better place, possibly. But that's just me. I'm easily pleased.
Princess Fiona liked it.
She did, and appreciated Joshua. He's got my correct pronouns there. So
Oh, there you go. Listening fat. Here you go.
pronouns.
Pronouns. A man of few words, but when he speaks,
And
everybody listens.
while we're doing pronoun gags, the pronoun maneuver is 1 in a million, apparently. So we're still in the recap here. By the way, I have done a little bit of prep, even though I've been out on the road and we're an hour later. But I've done a bit of prep. I've been reflecting on the series as a whole, and that's whole with a W. And I've got a number of questions which I feel were either just not resolved in the series or not explained fully. So I'm going to posit these to my esteemed colleagues throughout the stream. So I hope you're all up to it, folks. So we're still in recap territory here, aren't we, Brown? Or are we? Yeah,
No,
still in recap.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Mando was caught. He was held hostage. Oh no, for all of about 30 seconds. But this is where we left it at the last episode. Mando was caught. The other Mandos were behind a blast door. And that was the pivot points. We had the
That was a climax. Yeah, last week episode. Yeah,
that was the precipice they left it as. Lucasfilm logo. Just to remind you all.
Quickly, look, we got Fav getting the shit kicked out of him, or his voice.
Which is completely needless, and so many of the flaws in this episode are born of the huge number of faults in previous episodes. Like, the only reason this happened is that he shouted at everyone that there were too many of the other guys, so they all had to run away. So rather than using the darksaber to cut through the door to help him, they cut through the door and ran away. Then he gunned all of them down on his own, so there was no one left except him and these 3 bloody Last Jedi guards. Whereas, like, you would have had 50 Mandalorians against these 3 people if they'd cut through the other way. But no, because the script needed that not to happen. So that's exactly what didn't happen.
Also, Ben, I'd like to point out that, right, do you remember that R5 unit when they first used him, when Mando says, go inside the mountain and find something?
Yeah.
And he goes and meets him and he's on his back, isn't he? Or something like that. He fell over or something like that. In this one, he could fly. Why didn't he fly in the other episode?
Yeah, I thought he could fly now.
What's going on? Do you know what I mean?
Now.
You didn't need to. He could have just flown down there.
There were other bits as well, which is like, I was watching it and I first saw R5 in this episode and I thought, I don't remember them even taking him with them on this mission.
Yeah.
And so I thought, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it, aren't I? And then I thought, no, because I don't care. So, but there's so many things like that. Like, you would have to go back and double check. And normally, if there's something like that in the Mandalorian, it's like, did the last episode set this up? The answer is no. So I'll get to this part of the thing in my review eventually. But I'm sure, yeah, you're right that they shouldn't have even had him here because that's just been summoned into the
this
script.
last week, didn't we? How did Snoke's Red Guards cut through Fav's Beskar?
Because Beskar is only effective when the plot needs it to be effective.
Oh,
it is the definition of plot armor. And we'll see a lot of that coming through this episode. It's like, it's super effective, and then, oh shit, it's not effective at all because the script needs it not to be.
I mean, if I was going to make a stab at a defense, I'd say there are, just like in medieval armor, maybe gaps between the Beskar plates that could be, taken advantage of. But that's just me being a Disney show.
But if that is true, then why don't they actually use melee weapons all the time where they can find the gaps? There's bits in this episode and previous ones where they start shooting at the Beskar, it doesn't work, and so then they use melee weapons and it does work, and then they choose to go back to ranged weapons which don't work again. So no, it's just
how long has Beskar been around? And how, I mean, since was Beskar around since like the first Star Wars movie? For instance,
Boba Fett time.
No.
If it was, why didn't they make the Stormtroopers costume out of Beskar?
Or Darth Vader's.
Or Darth Vader's,
Snoke's, or Kylo Ren's. Or why doesn't the Emperor wear one?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's because it was invented for Mandalorian Season 1, Episode 1.
Yeah.
But Z might have a better idea, because there's cortosis, isn't there, in the old expanded universe, which does something, it's lightsaber-resistant metal, but that's not the same thing.
Is that bad breath?
It's halitosis, but...
Oh, okay.
Beskar is used, but only for the cod piece, apparently.
The only important piece. Nikki comments on the screen there, says he has fat armor. But as we were saying, it's not.
I think we're getting bogged down, don't you?
Let's not get bogged down with intro.
Well, Hostman thinks we are because he says, for $5 goddamn, this show is more bloated than Lizzo's Death Star. Not saying that last word, but it's on screen, folks. I've been warned for my use of language, so I'm just going to avoid all controversies.
Thank you, Hostman.
We appreciate Hostman. So let's not get bogged down. But hey, I want to get bogged down because it's the Praetorian Guards as seen on The Last Jedi, the most perfect Star Wars
Drink,
film.
everybody.
It's so good to see them actually do something this time. They killed one. We got one. Ryan, well done.
I was watching
Lucasfilm
for one of them
logo.
just to drop his weapon or for it to disappear. I really wanted to see that like continuity. They can't keep hold of their own weapons, but alas, this episode didn't do that, as far as I could detect.
It's such a shame that they didn't continue my my characterization. And yes, Joe, I have been taking PR training by Brown, so
Lucasfilm, the logo that used to mean something very, very, very special.
Now just gives you
Moving
a
on.
cold shudder down the spine, wondering what you're about to witness. So here we go, folks. That's the intro done. The recap scenes. Am I believing my eyes, Brown? Are we touching 150 in the viewers here?
Nearly, yes. Can you believe it?
Oh, this
Unbelievable.
is sexy. Okay, for every 10
Thanks,
more
everybody.
likes, Brian's going to take another item of clothing off, and he's already just sat there in his ballies, folks. So could be a fun night. So we have the Mandos escaping through the network of caves, I suppose, and corridors. Did anyone notice how many goddamn times they found a conveniently hole placed in the ceiling? It seemed to always be there when they needed one.
Also, I thought their backpacks can only work to a certain degree, like when they were chasing.
We'll get to that.
Do you remember?
Let's not get bogged down in that at the moment.
Now, what is that all about? Now they're just flying to
Switch
space
to
and all
unleaded.
that
They can go a bit
stuff.
further now.
What's going on?
You're absolutely right. I love the way that the show actually took the time to establish that they have range. The whole point of one episode was about that, and then this one, in classic Mandalorian fashion, just forgets that that's what they did. So he can go up into space on his jetpack. That's fine.
He can. In this scene, Nax Woves is flying up to the upper atmosphere to contact the ship for reinforcements. The reason for this is we were previously informed that during the Great Purge of Mandalore, the Empire dropped fusion bombs on the planet, which disrupted the magnetic field around the planet, making it quite impossible to communicate with anyone outside of the lower atmosphere. Unless you're Moff Gideon, who can use a communicator to reach Elia Kane on Coruscant in the middle of a Zoom meeting with other Imperial team leaders.
I think Z has got a bit of a boner tonight. By the sound
Z,
of it.
pillow
Z,
talk to end
Jesus.
pillow talks.
Either
Wow.
the atmosphere disrupts communications or it doesn't. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Somebody's been switched on. I was going to say out of bed this morning the wrong way, but I'm talking bollocks. I'm moving on.
Oh, well, look, I'm going to, from bollocks to actually something that makes a lot of sense. Paige, hello, Paige says, if they cut this show down to an hour and a half long movie, they would have made a bit of coin.
Yeah,
I actually think there's something in that suggestion,
Yeah, I
because
agree
when
with
you
that.
think of the amount of side quest, filler episodes and nonsense, you probably could have, out of God knows how many hours of shite, come up with a reasonable hour and a half movie. What does everyone think to that suggestion?
5 episodes of quality, perhaps, maybe.
It takes a similar approach to writing and plot as the Super Mario film does, even. So, yeah, potentially you would have had just this sort of plot light, if not plot free, caper through recognizable Star Wars land. People would flock to see that because at least the film doesn't hate them, which is a common theme that emerges in my comment section. People will flock to see things that don't hate them. I think that's a really astute point. I like that. Yeah.
I think 5's a bit optimistic, Brown. Maybe
Okay, 4. Yeah, I was going to say
moments
watching
within
this.
4. But
I was thinking that watching this, I felt like this episode didn't hate me as a viewer.
Can I make a request to the chat to get back to smut, please? We don't like all these really astute comments and common sense. We just like the smut, if you would. Okay, so we have a Mandalorian flying into the upper limits of the atmosphere and into space in a jetpack, which seemed to only last about 30 seconds when they were chasing flying lizards or wherever they were a few episodes ago. Doesn't make sense, but we're going to go with it anyway because, hey, it's Disney Star Wars, folks. Meanwhile, back in the network of caves, we have, is this Botox Karen? Leading the crew, yep, all very dark, but basically, I know Brian could probably do a good fist of this. I'm not gonna go there, Brian. Brian, what are they trying to do for the folks at home who've not seen this goddamn episode? What are they doing here?
I don't know. I was typing a chat message to someone.
Oh, Brian, it was your moment.
Trying to beat the bad guys. They're about to lose their place, their planet, everything. So they decide, let's go for it. Let's get Moff Gideon. Rather than retreating and possibly regrouping and putting themselves at more of an advantage rather than being shocked, surprised, they've decided it's the season finale. So let's get stuck in, lads and lasses. Especially the lasses.
Well, in their defense, they did send up that guy to get more reinforcements, didn't they? So
yeah, that was the purpose we didn't mention of the guy going up. So he was going back up to the mothership, and
at least he didn't die as well. That was a good thing.
Yeah, I thought we were on for a bit of a hold-on maneuver. I got so excited at one
point. Hold on. We do get to that, but just not yet.
Oh, sorry, I jumped the gun.
Princess Fiona. Princess Fiona's gone
She's
there.
American and she knows that name. I am worried.
Well, it is a Netflix documentary, but I'm not even going to mention his name, Princess Fiona. That's how good a behavior I'm on. Can't promise it'll last. So we have Rocket Man going into space, and Mando's in a cave. This really carries on for a little while, doesn't it? And bearing in mind such a short episode, it was a very slow start.
I don't think Mando was in the cave. These are the
Mandos. I say in the plural.
We should probably differentiate them. These are the Karens because they are with her, and he is Mando because that is the titular character.
Hold on.
Yes.
Also, another thing that Moff Gideon said, where is Mandalorian? Which he's referring to our hero, right? But they're all Mandalorians.
Yes.
Why didn't he just call him by his real name?
Oh, let's not get bogged down into
That's another thing that didn't make any sense to me either. It's just like, what? Anyway, sorry, carry on.
I did post a little tweet out about that. So it was a scene from, I think it was last week's episode where Grief Karga shouts out, "Hey Mando," and then the next scene shows about 50 Mandos. But obviously they don't think about these things. Hey, look, folks, we have
pew, pew.
What are they?
Pew, 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 pew,
they're still being chased through. Yeah, they are the new generation of, is it Death Troopers? So these are the sort of the Mandalorian knockoffs. They ambush them in the cave. And you would think that highly trained Mandalorian warriors, and that's basically the entire reason that Mandalorian people exist, is to be warriors, might have noticed, for example, that all of these people have Beskar armor that resists their blasters, except around the legs and the groin, like the guy that they're conspicuously shooting in the chest in this moment. So either you go in with your melee weapons, which was established in the last episode to be very effective, or you shoot people in the dick. But you don't do what they did, which is shoot roughly around their head to no effect.
Yeah, but they were running away in their defense, so... But they are Mandalorians, but moving on.
Z, can we get you to read out Graham's contribution this evening, sir?
Graham Gallagher in the chat says, poo-poo, poo-poo, poo.
There you go, Graham.
It's simple things, folks.
Graham, thanks for your contribution, sir. You can log off now. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Love poo and bum jokes, definitely.
We do.
Did you notice,
love the number 2
Did you notice here she puts down the explosive charge right in front of them?
Yeah.
And they just walk straight into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, it's stupid, isn't it? It's just really daft.
Yes, but it's made for the iPhone generation, isn't it, Brownie, as you always like to say.
Agreed.
Pew, pew, pew.
Perhaps Android as well.
Oh, controversial. Listening fat. Listening fat, I think it's the longest message you've ever written. It's almost an essay by your standards. I don't know what's going on.
I concur for different reasons.
Brian, can we get you to read this one out in the style of our favourite Australian shill, Steele Saunders?
I'll leave over in the chat. Says pee.
He did it. He had just several one-syllable words, and he still did it, folks. What was the one several episodes ago I asked you to do? I can't even remember. It was some kind of Albanian terrorist, and you still pulled it off, Brian. We've never failed to be impressed. Movie cynic. Blue hair man is there, and he says, "Beware the pee poo poo man."
Yep.
Oh, it's all gone silly in the chat, but we do love it. So back to the action, because we're meant to be excited here, folks. And we've got Botox Karen. Nice capture on the still there, Brian. He's a dab hand with this thing, isn't he?
I'm afraid this one's Brown's.
Oh, it's Brown.
Capture.
Oh, well, I take it back. It's average. Take it back.
First.
First half is me.
Oh God, they had to split it between them. It's so
Why are we
goddamn
taking so long on this? The whole episode was fight, Gideon gets killed, the end. That's what.
Okay, thanks for coming.
That's
so
it,
far.
folks.
If we did
See
it
you
your
next
way.
week.
If
I'm
we did it
gonna
your way,
spend
we'd
every-
have been finished by now. That's the
Exactly.
reason.
If I'm going to
Cheers,
spend
everybody.
7 hours doing 20 minutes worth of slides,
Yeah,
I'm
piss off,
fucking-
Ian.
So there we go. Explosive
Oh, look
charge.
at that.
Boom.
Drink.
And,
We said, "Oh, look at that. We have to do it."
We've
Drink.
we've
That's
not
me.
quite got to the explosive chat.
Oh, really? Oh, I've been misled. God damn it. Look, before we go any further, we've had the poo 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 poo, and we've had the pee 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 pee. Can we have something similar for the number 3, please? There's your challenge in the chat.
Whoa, wank.
Oh, Brownie, don't give them ideas.
right.
There's the explosive charge.
Yes.
There's the little red knob, and planted in full view, and obviously, boom, boom, shake the room, isn't it? And
Yeah, here they come. Boom, boom.
Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
If I may, because this will become relevant. Oh no, that's not the one. This will become relevant in a couple of moments' time, but it is worth bearing in mind at this stage because you'll remember that Grogu is conspicuously in his little IG suit these
Yes,
days,
he is, yeah.
and therefore quite easy to notice. Except now.
Movie Cynic refuses to watch this shit. Movie Cynic, so do most of us, including sometimes some of the guests we have on the goddamn show, but we still get through it all the same, so don't worry, you're in good company. Okay, so it's all action. Oh, you can tell Brownie's took that still. I mean...
That's the explosion. I must have tried for about 10 minutes to get the... I just couldn't get the frame. Just couldn't get it.
Why? What is being conveyed here that wasn't
It's
already
called,
conveyed by the other ones?
Lord, it's called professionalism.
Okay.
Brownie,
Moving swiftly on, folks.
Brownie, Brownie,
I nearly
just please
killed the stream,
humor me,
folks, sorry.
humor me, Brownie, just so I can clip it later on. Can you just go, oh, look at that?
Oh, look at that!
There you go. We'll clip that one, folks.
Drink, everybody.
Make him look like a right idiot. Take a drink, every man baby in the chat. I see you all.
See, Punchable Face has got my back. Cheers, mate. Cool picture, yes.
Anyone got ankle fetish?
Punchable Face? He got that from me, did he not?
Sam Smith, I think.
Brian, you've got a request to have your own show just doing accents.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so we get several sets of ankles, and it's Mando being dragged along kind of comically as though he's unconscious, and he's going to be just fine, as we see momentarily. There he is, being manhandled.
Why are they dragging him? Where
I don't know. I was trying to
Interrogation.
But was he knocked unconscious at some point? I think.
Well, they should have just killed him. I don't understand.
No, he wasn't unconscious. They used their zip line things in the last episode to capture him. Now, normally, when you capture someone instead of killing them, that's because you captured them for a reason.
Yeah.
However, this show, I don't think, ever establishes a reason why Moff Gideon wants him alive.
Exactly.
So he's just
No,
there
he
because the
doesn't
plot
know, yeah.
requires that he remains alive at this point. And also, it requires that they've only sent 2 guards with him. and they're not paying any attention. So naturally, he breaks out at the first opportunity.
It could have been because he wants Grogu, but he doesn't want Grogu, but he'll need Grogu later on because he's killed all the clones.
Yep. Although he never realizes it at that point either. So,
Yeah.
so no.
Watch it, Lord, you bollock.
Brian, could you read out Princess Fiona's message in the style of Kathleen Kennedy, please?
There's only one person
Kathleen
who knows
Kennedy.
what she sounds like. It's you.
Is it the voice of Satan? Possibly. I don't. Oh, fuck it. I don't know. I'll do it in the. I'll do it in a Californian
You've got to do
stoner.
it this way, though. You've got to go fade in.
Fade in.
Princess Fiona in the chat says, I've been told I have great legs. I'm assuming your ankle is included in that.
Oh God, the Lord Geordie's ASMR place is under threat after that, Brian. Wow, that was rousing. Okay, so so Mando's is he duping them here, or does he just genuinely awaken?
No, I
don't
think
know which one it
he's
is.
out. He's out for the count. I think
He's out. Okay.
he's resting.
We thought that was a bit. What's his name? Gallifrey and Avenger thought that was a little bit Trumpish there, Brian. I don't know if
Oh God.
if you want to have a stab at Trump. No, he's going to get his own show. Don't worry, folks.
Who
We'll
Trump
get
is?
him his own. Trump's on next week, folks. Come back for it. So Mando kicks into action, kicks some arse, and there you go. He was prisoner for all of about 23 seconds. And we do see in the. Come on, let's try and give some props here, folks. I want some positivity. And I know it's a strange place to go for it, but Mega Geek, can we give any props to some of the action in this opening scenes? You know, Mando kicking arse.
Yeah, the action is good. All the technical stuff in this episode is really good. You can't fault it, from the fighting to the special effects to the sets and everything. You can't fault it. It's just the story. It's bollocks, isn't it? You know, so and the screenplay's rubbish as well. So that's the only thing that's wrong with it. It's a shame, really, they can't do something, better with the script.
I think you can fault it slightly on the meta level, because the Mandalorian who is this capable in terms of physical combat is not the same Mandalorian as the one who uses a flamethrower at point-blank range against the shielded droid, for example. So the show can't even decide what his physical capability really is. Occasionally, they decide it's amazing, but when the plot requires it, he has to be incompetent and an idiot, which is what he'll do later.
Stunt double?
No, I think it's a script thing again. They can't have him be competent all the time, because that would be difficult to write for.
Now, speaking of which, what is the point of the flamethrowers? They appear to do absolutely nothing.
No, they do nothing, do they? Yeah.
Flamethrowers are used several times in this episode.
Well, that's good.
No one gets burned alive or have their clothes set on fire. Even the Death Trooper in this scene gets saturated in molten heaty death, and the flames go out immediately.
Bright lights, see, that's all. Just bright lights.
Shall I do this super chat?
Yeah, we better, because Joshua's.
I know this person.
Oh, do you?
Joshua Levesque for $5. Bless all of you wonderful peeps. Hilarious panel as usual, especially Ruin and Z. Yes, Ruin paid me to say that, like he paid me to say. I probably fucked that up. The Last Jedi. Take a drink, everybody.
Oh, thank
Basically
you,
saying
Joshua.
the rest of us are shite there, isn't he? I can take it.
Cheers, Josh.
Well, he's saying everything's shite apart from The Last Jedi, and he's absolutely right. So,
He's saying he was paid to say the rest of us were shite, basically.
Ruin, yeah.
I think he's right.
Yes.
Ruin, you available?
I'm available. I'm always available. Phil Arcio says, I show. Phil, IASHEO. Ishio?
That's real money.
I'm not moving on till I get it right. What is it?
Fellatio.
Fellatio.
Oh, damn it.
Fuck's sake, I'm a bit slow there, lads.
Ka-ching.
Fellatio
Penny
says,
dropping. Fellatio. Very good.
why are stormtroopers only now using Beskar? Well, we had this debate, didn't we, earlier on? Thank you for the tip, Phil. Yes, I mean, it doesn't make sense in the timeline, does it?
When did they blow up Mandalore?
It would have been
Oh.
during the Siege of Mandalore about 25 years previously.
Spoiler alert.
Ah, right. Okay, so it's bollocks then.
It is. It's total.
In the
Okay.
previous episode, though, Moff Gideon establishes that both his armor and the Death Trooper's armor was made of Beskar alloy, which is Beskar and
Sorry.
another metal. Only Din Djarin and the other Mandalorians have pure Beskar as their armor. So Moff Gideon's armor should not be able to deflect the Darksaber at all, as only pure Beskar can do that. And you can check that fucker on Wikipedia.
Are you in a bad mood, Z? Has Uncle Owen been doing the
So
unspeakable?
it's the same
just-
as drugs, then you can't get it unless you've got a decent source, basically.
It's great. No, I'm just making notes here for when I actually get to these episodes in my review.
I
I've
think
missed that one completely.
Z is jealous of R5, isn't he? That's why he said
is that what it is?
R5 steals the show, yes.
Um,
And
Here you go, folks. Karanatos asks, "Where is your mother?"
is this a knock-knock joke?
Yeah,
I don't know. Where is my mother? Come on, fill in
Let me
the
go and
gag
wake her up
chat.
and ask her, sir.
So let's get back to the Mando. I know we don't want to. We're going to have to do it, folks, and you're going to have to come with us. So Mando's kicking some arse. He's getting... Oh, nice shot, Brown. Will you look at that, for God's sake? Yeah, he gets fired at here, doesn't he? But obviously they're aiming for the Beskar, so it's okay. And eventually just... how does he take this
look
one
at
out?
that!
Oh, look at that. Is he using...
Praise is no praise, bro.
Kylo Ren powers to halt the laser bolt in midair.
Oh, that'd be good. He's not that
Oh.
good, though, is it? That'd be fun.
No, it's not the sequel good. Don't worry. But yeah, he manages to overcome these two pathetic guards. And yeah, as someone said in the chat earlier on, what did they say in the chat now? I've been completely distracted by Smilex doing a Yo Mama joke on me. That's thrown me. But no, as someone said in the chat, no, it's gone. It's gone. It will never come back to me now. That's gone into the ether. Well done, Smilex. You've
Like your
cocked it up.
trilogy.
No, that's still in the works. God damn it.
Harsh comments there.
No, I think what it was, someone was saying the action scenes are actually reasonably okay. I know they don't always make a lot of
Yeah, I thought the
logical
fighting was
sense, but
okay. I agree with that.
yeah, some of the action is okay, and we like to try and
Yes,
give
but
credit where it's due.
they have the John Wick problem with his Beskar blazer that he wears, which is that it's super effective when they need it to be, and it's not when they don't. So, no, it annoys me the more I pay attention to the fight scenes. Yes, like in terms of choreography, they work pretty well, but they only work in choreography because they've forgotten the rules of the materials that they've previously established, which is kind of irritating. And that makes the decisions that the Mandalorian himself makes later in this episode much more irritating as well, because you've established in this episode that there are things that are effective against people wearing Beskar, which he actively chooses not to use, so you can't compliment him for his qualities in this scene when he abandons them later on. It's just yeah, it's all very, very convenient.
Well, that's me.
Yeah, Chew, and it's caps lock. You always tell us off for caps lock, Brown. What are you doing? How dare you? But if you haven't, folks, hit the like button. It does make Brown happy. So, who said it earlier? Pointless flamethrower action. Here we go,
Zee.
folks. There it is. Zee said it. It's all just for effect. But just letting us know they've all got this massive array of tools that are rendered useless by the Beskar. There we are.
Also, their ability to withstand fire will become very relevant for the final scene.
That's
But
all CGI fire, and it looks fantastic.
it does look very good, yes.
It's top draw.
We've hit 160, and that means Brian, the Grundies have to come off. So just let me know, Brian. Socks can stay on.
Already.
Grundies come off. Sorry. Craig says, hit the like button. Like button smashed. Oh, like Ruin smashing lizard. Oh, come on, Craig. You don't- no one needs that image in their mind. So this fight, yeah, believe it or not, folks, this fight's still going on. Mando with the remaining guard. I think he takes him out. Wow, look at that. He's
all CGI. It's
No, he saturates it in him, and then it immediately goes out.
Yeah. That's not real fire, is it?
Mega Geek, while you're chuckling away in the background, would you do us the honor of the on-screen message?
Hostman Socrates for $5. Here's a thought: if Gideon needs Jedi juice, just have one wank into a bottle. Jesus Christ!
Whew, buried the lead there, didn't he?
Unfortunately, that is what you set up with midichlorians, because it is now in the blood and the DNA, and it's not some spiritual thing. Whereas, like the old expanded universe, and certainly the Jedi Outcast games, for example, they establish it as a more spiritual thing. And so they make it work better. You can imbue force powers, but the mechanics of the universe actually make more sense than George Lucas's attempt to say, well, it's all in the blood. Because if it is in the blood, yes, you could jizz into a bottle. Or indeed, you could jizz into someone's mouth and potentially they become force sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah, but we forget that, don't we? We forget that, don't we? You know, we just forget it.
Yeah, like, we pretend that never
happens. We pretend it never happens. Yeah, everything that he said.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh, let's get this thing back on track. Mando's still kicking arse, folks, and he gets the old
autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, yep, he's enjoying that moment there, and again, just showing off the vast array of tools. But obviously, we're never worried because he's the star of the show, and we know. Botox Karen's not around to save him, so no problem there.
I actually thought he was going to die.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah.
Were you stressed at this point too?
No, I wasn't stressed. I was hoping he would die, but
cheering him on.
He didn't. I thought he was going to die at some point. Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, he ends up retiring. Spoiler alert. He's getting his arse kicked at this scene, isn't he? But he manages to make a bit of a comeback. Oh no!
No.
Yeah, okay, we know what's coming here, folks, and it's Baby Yoda inside IG, whatever number we're up to now, 12, is it? I found it fairly comical how in this intense moment of the fight and Baby Yoda hones in to save Mando, he's got time to press the no button repeatedly on the controls. I mean, taking liberties there, but we finally see him do something in this bloody IG-12.
Now, you're right about that, but the more pertinent question is, where the fuck did he just come from? How the hell did they not know that he was wandering around in a giant metal suit? When did they lose track of him? He was in the room with them at the end of the last episode. How did he get here?
It's not the quietest machine.
No, it makes a lot of noise.
Yes, and also he could barely walk in the thing last episode. Now he's going in full-fledged fight
Yoda.
mode.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, why would he press no anyway? Do you know what I mean? It makes
because
no sense.
It's funny and cute, and that's the only reason he exists. Any question about Baby Yoda, the answer is because it's cute. That's it.
Speaking of cute, Bank of Hostman for $5. Did you know jazz music is jizz music in Star Wars, and the jazz singers jizz whalers? Thank you, Wikipedia.
It's the band that plays either it's the band that plays in the Mos Eisley Cantina, or it's the one that plays in Jabba's Palace, but they are unironically called the Jizz Whalers. And I found this out like 2 months ago, and I laughed for about a month straight. So thank you for reminding me.
Call yourself a Star Wars fan.
I just know. I think I had a selective memory blank for jizz apparently.
Vladik. I feel as though now I'm paranoid reading names out. I feel as though Vladik Gajat is something else, and I'm not getting it right.
It's a great name, that.
Is that his actual name, or is there an innuendo there, folks? I'm just so blinded by these things. But either way makes a very he, she, they, them, man, baby makes a very good point. Botox just left Grogu.
We said that last week. Botox, Karen, they all fucked off.
Just left them. Just left the baby.
Yeah. Left them all.
Well, what a bitch. Anyway, he rocks up, he does his thing, and he's probably sold a few more toys off the back of that. But he saved Mando. That's the main thing. Yes. Mando being saved again, folks. Seems to happen on a regular basis, this, doesn't it? Has anyone warmed to... Zee, I should ask you, really, because it's predominantly featuring an android here. Have you warmed to the idea of Baby Yoda inside the guts of IG-11?
No, not at all. I mean, instead of grabbing and throwing the Death Trooper, why didn't the merchandising frog puppy use the Force?
Oh,
This is something that the
He
season
knows.
constantly forgets. Like the time they were on Mandalore and the Psycho Spider captured him. The little green freak could have popped him like a greasy spot, but instead ran away. So he's only got force powers when it's suitable, so I don't like him at all.
Oh, he's very selective with his use of the Force. Smilex making the point, first time, but not the last time. In this episode, Mando gets saved, and indeed in this series, it seems to be a regular.
In the
occurrence.
two or so years I've streamed with Z, I think this is the first time he's been in a bad mood.
Oh, I love Darkside Z. He's really.
I'm digging this.
Yeah.
Do you know why I'm in a bad mood?
Sexier.
I'm frightened to ask.
Well, like the little Platoon posted earlier, I also saw the Screen Rant article citing a surprise end credit scene. So I watched the end of this fucker right to the end.
And there wasn't one.
And there isn't one.
Oh,
And that's the second time I've been lied to over this episode. Jon Favreau being the first. So,
hold on to your cod pieces, everyone. Look who's back. It's Amber Sidaway.
Yes.
And Amber says, is this really the finale?
It
It is.
It is, Amber. It's the finale. And good
it's
to have
one
you
of the
back,
shorter episodes
Amber
of the season as well, which is
Sidaway.
just peculiar decision.
Yeah.
On Z's point, so the thing he was referencing, Screen Rant had this article about this episode. The article is titled... sorry, it's playing adverts at me. Go away, Screen Rant, and I hate you even more. The article is titled "The Mandalorian's Season 3's post-credit scene choice makes the final scene even better." Which you might think, oh, there's a post-credit scene? Jesus. There's one incredibly long paragraph when it says things like, the post-credit scene choice is interesting, the post-credit scene choice makes the ending better. There is another incredibly long paragraph when it says the way the finale approaches its post-credit scene also raises questions for The Mandalorian Season 4, and so on. It's only after you get to the end of two long paragraphs and then past a subheading that the sentence begins, "The Mandalorian Season 3 finale does not feature a post-credit scene." So Screen Rant has basically done one of the most overtly clickbaity articles of all time, and has admirably stuck with this for about 800 words before realizing that actually there's no story here, but they had an article quota to fulfill, so we run with it, I guess. But I love that article. That was a really great example of modern journalism.
Guaranteed they've done the groundwork for that and written them in advance and then gone, oh, fuck, there isn't one. Oh,
There isn't one,
we'll just leave it. It's
Yeah.
going anyway.
They'll do.
Publish.
They'll do.
Shadow of the Raven coming up with amongst all the bollocks as often goes on the stream. Shadow of the Raven comes up with a rather poignant but well put out case to say Star Wars used to be entertainment for all the family. Now it's nothing more than children's entertainment. Sadly,
It's not that good.
Yeah, it's barely
It's not that good.
at times. But we appreciate it. Shadow of the Raven. A nice straightforward name that doesn't confuse me there. Bring it up again, Bran. I love this so much. What's happening to Mando here, folks? He looks like he's being
He's getting
juiced
oxygen,
on.
I think.
Oh,
in a sealed suit.
Someone reckons it's Bacta. It's the kind of the same joke they used in Iron Man, and Paul Hogan used for his character of Leo Wanker. When something goes wrong, he always gets.
It's also a reference to Season 1's finale when IG-11 uses Bacta to heal Mando, I think.
Yes.
So in other words, he pissed on Mando.
Basically, yes.
Dear, oh dear.
Can we move on because we're getting bogged down in something
Yeah,
terrible?
we're
This
gonna be
lasts
all
about 10 seconds in real time, and we've
There's
been on it
lots
for an hour and a half.
Lots of jizz jokes on this particular screen, so we better move
in.
on. Okay, let's get it going, folks. Brian's getting tetchies. The Iron Brew's running out. Like, come on, let's get this thing going. Z's pissed off. Mega Geeks, we're about to fucking erupt over this whole season. And don't get Chordy off on one. We'll be here all night. God, let's get going, folks. So we have Mando, and he's thanking little baby Yoda for helping him, and yes, doesn't he say something rather poignant like you're gonna have to be brave now?
Yeah.
Yes.
As though he hadn't already been in saving Mando's life.
Oh, good God. So we have what's meant to be a touching moment, and we're meant to be worried for either of these two imbeciles, but then we get the oh God, it's only just Fuck.
1 hour,
Bloody
5
hell.
minutes, everybody. 1 hour,
1 hour, 5
5
minutes. You got the Mando credits. It's not like we started an hour
Gee.
later and I think, don't worry, folks, it's all going swimmingly.
I was going to say, isn't it peculiar that the season finale has a shorter runtime than most of the episodes of the season? But we don't, so it's fine. We'll make up for that.
Yes, we'll make up.
1 hour,
The
5, everybody.
shorter the episodes, the longer the stream. It's a bank holiday tomorrow. Don't worry.
Is
No one
it?
has to go to work. Yes, it's a bank holiday Thursday. Don't worry. So, chapter 24, the return. The return to Mandalore, the return
Return to shit.
Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac.
They're
Back still running.
Back to Botox running through the caves. Someone points out very, very flat, conveniently flat caves with lots of convenient holes in them. And yes, it's just reminding us that there's other shit going on other than Mando and Grogu. And essentially what's going on here is Mando's trying to regroup, led by Botox Karen. Meanwhile, Din Djarin is doing his own thing, isn't he? I think he's basically going after the big bad guy in the
take him out, yeah.
But before he gets there, we're gonna do some member berries. Get ready to drink, folks, because we're gonna have some Phantom Menace member berries coming up. So he takes this jetpack. Does he ever use this thing? I mean,
He does.
He does use it. Yeah.
Amazing how it fits his suit. Amazing that.
Like Lego, just clicks on there.
Yes.
No problem at all.
And behind his cape as well, over his cape as well.
Yeah, would it not
Cape is
open
connected to.
flames?
Yeah.
It saves him a couple of times too, without a scratch.
Convenience hole, as someone points out in the chat. Z is a big fan of convenience holes.
Screen grab around.
So this is the
one of them taking off.
Hard
just
work, Brown.
so many really kind of fast shots. Just that's the best I could get.
Paige Astley in the chat has written a veritable essay, and I've read it, Paige. I appreciate it, but as you can see, we're running so behind. So, we're going to do it anyway, Paige. Let's do it. I can't let you down.
It's the finale. What else have we got to do?
Yeah, let's go on,
Finale.
Jordy. Give us your best ASMR on Paige, please.
Oh, me?
Oh, you, sir.
Oh, okay. Paige Ashley. I dislike when the protagonist is so literally bulletproof. We get pulled into a story when there are injuries, fighting through pain to defeat the bad guys. Victory is sweeter at Mr. Brown Alliance.
Could someone take that fucking thing off Brown for a snap?
I mean, this episode was very John Wick-like, wasn't it?
Yes.
Almost a little too much.
Just
Didn't fall down the stairs, did he?
we just hit 170. We are staying on this screen grab.
Just
It's
as
the
Brian was
worst
about to
goddamn
snap.
thing. Yeah. God damn. The thing is, you just know Brian's got some absolute corkers that we're going to fly through later on. We spent 10 minutes on that bollocks. Anyway, we're all having a good time, folks. Who gives a fuck? So we've got the exterior of Mandalore, the craggy exterior of Mandalore.
Glassed.
And now this is worth lingering on. I'm going to go against the grain here. I like the old the TIE. They're not fighters, but whatever they are, hanging upside down. Interceptors, yes. I like them hanging upside down like bats, and I love the way they drop and then fly out. Is anyone going to challenge me on that, or is anyone with me on that?
No, I'm still going to stick with how do they get into the cockpit?
Carefully.
Because it's at the top. You can see it on the one on the left, right in the middle there. That's how you get into it. That's how it is on the toy.
Oh,
That's
The
why
thing
they've
on
all
the
got
back
jetpacks, maybe.
It's a thruster. Yeah.
the Force.
But hold on, so they're all hanging there, right? And so the people inside it, they're basically hanging upside down, aren't they? Until it takes off. They're all in there hanging upside down.
Well, they'll be looking at the
waiting
floor,
for it to
won't they?
take
They'll
off.
be looking at the floor, yeah. How did they get themselves...
Exactly.
Even assuming they can get in there to begin with.
Yeah.
And large parts of this episode play out like the games do. But if you play the games take care to establish how you get in and out of TIE fighters, even when you can't do that within the game itself. They hang at the proper position. if these TIE interceptors are not automated, the amount of risk involved in just dropping a guy and hoping that he turns himself parallel to the floor within the space of like half a second is insane. Like 1 in every 3 of these should just hit the ground and die.
But you know
It's
what? I
probably
don't
got
care, 'cause
automatics.
look at
probably
that.
automatic.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm
it's
going to give
ridiculous, but
this
it's
to The Force
bloody-
Awakens. When Finn was escaping, they were all stacked the correct way up. These ones are not.
tethered as well, I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some idiot said, "Oh, let's hang them upside down because they look like bats," but they never didn't think about the actual reason why.
The
it's hanging
logic,
upside down,
yes.
the logic
Oh, we
behind
leave
it.
our brains
come on,
at
let's
the door.
not get bogged down in logic. Just look at that.
There have been a few people in chat wondering how they know which way is up to begin with.
Exactly.
So that's a really good question.
Oh, okay.
The
I think
lid.
Smilex was with me, but I think that's about it. Just me and you, Smilex.
God, we've still got a lot of shit to go through now
We've
as
got
well.
a lot of shit, Ian. Strap yourself in, sir. We're going doozy. We're having a big one tonight. Well, Brownie's enjoying himself, folks. No one else
Of course
is,
he
but
is.
Brownie is.
With the noise as well, just fantastic.
That's not fantastic. It's not hanging on any good fucking story writing, is it? So what the fuck?
It's a bag of shite, bro. Fucking
Yeah,
bag
but
of
look
shite.
at that. But look at that.
It doesn't even work because going later on to the sequel trilogy when you have ostensibly New Republic ships, they don't hang their fighters like this. They have them normally standing in a hangar like their vertical takeoff. That's supposed to be more advanced even than this technology is. So I don't really, apart from it looks cool, I can't find the reason for them doing this at all.
Nor could I.
Okay, I'm on my own. Just me and you, Smilex. It's okay. It's okay. I was also on my own for Last Jedi. That's fine. So, evil bad guy with a black cape in front of a nice screen. I was given some props to the big evil bad guy whose name I can never remember. Help me out, someone.
Gideon.
Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Karga.
Gideon. Obviously, we know him from classics like Breaking Bad, but I liked him in was it season 1 or 2, whatever? Where did we first?
End of season
Season
1.
one. Season
Yeah.
1.
God,
Yeah,
was it that long
and
ago?
I was waiting all season, and I don't think we got to see until about, was it 6? Episode 6?
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how long they held him off screen. I think we just didn't get enough of him, and obviously we're going to come on to his ultimate demise here. But
I think the reason why we didn't see him much in this episode is because he's on another series, isn't he? So that's probably why. So
He's in The Boys, isn't he, as well?
as well, yeah.
Because I don't mean that in the
good
Jimmy
point.
Savile sense.
So can you go back one slide?
Oh
And
yes,
it's got his
Go
own
back one
series
slide.
as well.
this
On
one,
this
Z.
tracking map, Mando and Grogu are clearly indicated as separate individuals. So
Yes.
Moff Gideon knew where they were all the time.
Yep.
So why did he say, I'm going to take care of him myself, and then he walks off? It's like, well, where's he going?
Wouldn't you
You
just
know what I mean?
surround them with troops if you knew where they were?
Exactly.
Or just shut them between a couple of blaster
No,
doors. You
but
can
in
see
his
exactly where they
defense,
are.
he did say he wanted to take on the Mando himself, didn't he? And then he walks off like Darth Vader.
Yes.
But he has a much bigger objective, which is to protect the existence of his clones. And he
Absolutely.
knows that these two characters are heading toward them right now. So he actually goes out of his way to make sure they can do the maximum damage to him that is possible, and then encounter him later when it's convenient for the writers, but not for him. But yeah, he could do anything in this scene, but he does
So hold
the wrong
on.
thing.
So all the stormtroopers that are in this, they're all clones, right?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
they
Oh,
are.
really?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is
So-
established
Conflict in the chat.
Bad Batch
Okay.
season 2, where
So-
they're
okay.
reappropriating clones.
So
as
if you take
See-
if you take their mask off, would they all look like Gideon?
No, they're
No.
old style clones from Clone Wars.
Oh.
Because you remember that scene in this episode, right?
Mm.
So that's what I'm saying. If they're clones, those were the clones in there, and they look like Moff Gideon.
Well,
So
he
basically,
could have used his own clones.
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. It could be all Moff Gideons. Yeah, that's
Oh.
weird. That is so weird. Anyway.
We're inadvertently doing
bogged down
alternative
in
names
clones
for the.
here.
We're getting bogged down in clothes. We're doing alternative names, better names than Moff Gideon for the bad guy. So keep them coming in the chat. You're on
There's some
cruise
very
control.
dark dark people in the chat.
Well, we're all been dragged down to the depths by Disney. Yeah, just
Let's
in
not
case
get
you didn't
bogged
think
down
this.
in racism, Brown.
Oh,
No! Can't say things like that. Trigger words.
You were twisting my words then.
Oh, we've been here before.
You proved a point of what's wrong with society these days.
Now Brown's losing
innocent
it, folks.
people having their words twisted by these people who think they're whiter than white, no pun intended.
You can't help yourself.
And I can't. And they're the racists.
Jegson Voorhees is just giving you some stick for that, Brownie. And Franco has confirmed what we all knew, demonetized.
Oh, that was good. Rube, do you want to do a super chat, mate?
Yeah, MJ UK 84, who's fresh off the Just Stop Oil protests. Thank you, MJ, for your work for a worthy cause. Particularly enjoyed you on the snooker table at the Crucible. But MJ says, all our American people tuning in, no fucking idea what I'm going on about. But anyway, do you remember in Rise of Skywalker, the entire fleet didn't know which fucking way was up? Now we know why. So it does make sense. Thank you, MJ.
Very good. Very good.
Very good. See. They're not all as stupid as you say they are, Brown. I keep telling you that. No. So anyway, we've been on this computer game screen for long enough, and the whole thing is like a computer game. Muff Diver 1, as Franco suggests, puts on his helmet. He's going to take them on, isn't he? Which, again, doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but we have to have that boss-level fight. Final boss moment. This is very Tron. Someone mentioned in the chat there. It does have a Tron-y feel about it, doesn't it?
Tron-y. Careful.
Oh, God, no. Don't, Brian. We have more clones, not clones. Who knows? Who gives a fuck? And we have Baby Yoda hiding in IG-88.
Are they deaf?
Who?
All the clone troopers, because this droid is just clank, clank, clank everywhere, isn't it?
Well, it's only clank when it's convenient for the comedic scenes, but
put his
thanks,
droid on
Franco.
silent, hasn't he?
Oh, Princess Fiona's come up with something rather playful.
Daft Gideon.
Daft Gideon. That'll do. We'll take that one, Fiona. Thank you very much. So, back outside onto the surface of Mandalore. It's. I know we're not moving at an incredible pace, but this episode certainly is at this point, isn't it? There's lots of chopping and changing and things going on and things in the sky and things underground.
Some member berries coming.
Oh, hold
coming
on
in
to your
hard,
member
everybody.
bollocks, folks.
Coming in hard.
There he is, our old friend hiding behind the rocks there. So I think let's get Brian to bring us up to speed here. So basically, Mando's going to ask for some help from his little droid here. You just explain, set us up here, Brian, if you would.
Yes, he is. This is the computer game scene of this part of the show where all the shields are taken down one by one, making it an easy 2v1 as opposed to 25, 26 versus 1. I hate how they've made R5D4 a complete shite bag in this bit. They've done him almost like R2D2, where he's cowardly, but he's kind of courageous eventually at the same time. I hated this bit, to be quite honest. I'll go into detail on that slightly later on if you want to try and move along.
Oh, hold on to your horses then. We'll come back to that one, Brian. Meanwhile, Mando and IG, whatever effing number he is, are making
12.
the way through. And yes, he's engaging R5 on the intercom. He basically needs his help. And we're about to see some kind of ridiculous flying scene from him in a moment. And we're going to see, here he is. Oh, he's in full flight.
He flies now.
Oh, he flies.
Where did he come from?
Where does he go?
Above?
Nobody knows.
No, where did he come from? I mean, he wasn't in the last episode.
Droid
was he?
Factory?
Did they leave him
No.
on the Mandalore about 4 episodes ago? Is that what...
So I'm saying, where did he come from? Did he come with the Mandalorians? I don't understand where he came
That
from.
wasn't, yeah,
Suddenly,
it wasn't shown at all. So
Right, yeah.
they just decided, but it's the finale. We have to have all the recurring characters. And yeah, we might have left him back
right.
home, but we need him for this episode, so now we can teleport him in.
That's what I'm
Suddenly,
saying.
astromech.
So how did Mandalorian know he was
Teleported.
there? How
That's
did he know
Star
he was
Trek.
there?
Oh.
How did the Mandalorian know he was there?
Pass!
High five. I'm just saying, it's so stupid, isn't it? It's just
Oh,
Drink,
take a
everybody.
drink, everyone.
Take a big drink, everybody.
Take a drink. You know what? I had the drink hovering at my
Down
lips.
that-
I was
down
just
that bottle.
waiting.
and he can fly now.
He can fly. He can fly pretty damn far as well.
But why did he do that in the first place? In
Oh,
the
he couldn't
second
get up.
episode, was
He
it the
couldn't get
third
up 2
episode?
Drink,
episodes
everybody.
ago. Now he can fly. I know. It's
Suddenly he can
remarkable.
fly.
It's
Check for
almost
the
like
CGI hadn't cashed yet. That's why.
Ah, right.
oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah, he fly. I mean, we saw R2 doing a little tiny bit of flying. I think it was down a few stairs, but this guy can fly. I mean, almost as well as the Mandalorian flying into space. It's just remarkable.
Has he been drinking Red Bull? That's a shit joke. Moving on.
Oh God, I can't believe you've done that. We've got 172 people watching Brown. You're
Sorry,
coming out with
folks.
those.
Also, why did he wheel towards the edge of the thing? There was no reason for him
Just
to
have a
do
look
that.
how far he was.
Oh,
Well, why?
Yeah,
this
I
was
know,
yeah.
He was doing that. I was half expecting him to overbalance
Fall,
and just
yeah.
fall
Fall,
over.
yeah.
And that would have been really funny, and I would have liked that, but no.
Well, why
Yeah,
did he do it? There's no
it's
reason
so-
for him to do it.
So wheeling up to the edge freaks him out, but flying through the cave and down hundreds of meters, not a problem. So he's got a strange sense of perspective. I know, you're getting excited, Brown. Okay, giant member berries on the way, folks. Not least of all, we've got some kind of roaming around the Death Star member berries, but we're about to see an old friend and several, in fact, coming up in a moment. I'm going to put this out there, and I'm bracing myself for the backlash, a bit like when Last Jedi hit the cinema. I liked this scene. I'm sorry, I liked it, and let me tell you why before you all get stuck into me. I liked it because if you're going to do humor, you do it in this way with these incidental side characters, and it worked particularly well with droids, and I liked it. And there you go. It was a little bit daft, a little bit silly. The mouse droids have the little police sirens on them, but I smiled. I liked it. There we go. Someone turn me a new one.
I'm with you, except that I think the writers also thought that, and so they played it way too hard. So it's fine, right? For the first half of this part, it's okay, but it's when they take it to the extreme because they also think, hey, everyone thinks this is funny. That's when it becomes irritating as opposed to funny. This first part of the section is okay, but the random sort of conglomeration of police mouse
Lord,
droids is bad.
while you're up and talking, are you available?
I guess, yes.
Oh,
Postman Socrates for $5. Thanks to the Lord for pointing out earlier that in an official Star Wars canon, the Force is an STD. That's an oddly cheerful gynecologist's visit.
Ooh.
Also, right, what is the
That's what he's
point
here
of
for,
these
folks.
little mouse robots? Like, if they see something bad happening, why don't they transmit something to the main villain and say, you know what, this droid is trying to open
It's
something,
bad.
you know?
Because that would be less funny than if they turn up with police sirens
That's what
on
I'm
them.
saying. It's like the joke is stupid. You know,
Yes.
it doesn't make any sense logically why these things would roam around and not send a signal or something like that to the
There's
bad
a few
guys.
things like that. It's like the end of season 1 when they canonize the fact that stormtroopers can't see or shoot straight. So before then, it was you could actually explain it in most of the original trilogy, but and then the Mandalorian basically says, yeah, it's funny and it's also canon that stormtroopers can't shoot. And so you think, well, then why can I feel threatened any subsequent scene when stormtroopers are present? Whereas this one is like, okay, mouse droids, we know they're kind of comical, but they serve a mundane function, sorry. Then this episode says, well, how can we make the mundane function funny? Let's turn them into little police cars. That's hilarious. And then you think, well, then what the fuck is the point of them in any other product ever?
Member
Take a
berries,
drink, everybody.
folks.
Yes, take a
Oh,
drink.
giant member
Look at that.
berry
There you go.
there.
That's a
Couldn't
big
be-
one. That's a double. That is.
Couldn't be more obvious if it was Lizzo's giant breasts slapping you in the face. Yes, so basically, just to fill in the gaps for those who are not watching the Mando series, but still like to tune in to hear us roast it. Basically, Mando's asked R5, he needs his help to get him through several laser doorways or whatever the goddamn hell they are. But effectively, that's what R5's doing. He's kind of logged into the main computer system, and he's going to disable some of the doorways for Mando. That's what's happening. There
Which
we
is
go.
a big member berry in itself, isn't
Oh,
it? Really.
It's all member berries, isn't it? It's very Death Star-y, and yep, absolutely. Brian, please do come back in because I know you've got something up your sleeve. Do we do it, Brown? Do you want to open that Lizzo trapdoor?
Jaden Smith Eyes in the chat. Lizzo's breasts would hit harder than a Mike Tyson uppercut. They would.
Franco's a man after my own arse there. He's gone through 3 rum and cokes.
You had
Fabulous.
6 doubles last week, didn't you? You were completely off your
way
twat.
beyond it, yes.
Lee Everett's chat.
So Mando's basically Mando's trying to
Some
find
very dark, some
Oh,
very
God.
very dark mofo's in the chat.
any
Moving on.
Jimmy Savile related puns automatically.
Oh,
get
you had to
posted
say,
on
didn't
screen.
you?
This is the way.
This is the way. Show what the.
Can I just say to the chat, see if you listen to Brown's intros on 2 times speed, he sounds almost identical to the man who shall not be named.
Oh, that's worrying.
Cheers, Brian.
I'm not going to read it out, but MJ, we acknowledge it, and
Can we
MJ.
just get on with it. We're gonna
no,
get
hang
on with it.
MJ
Fuck's sake.
is giving up time. He's normally out there with Just Stop Oil. He's given up his time to come here and watch this stream. MJ, best of luck for the coronation. Hope you ruin it. Anyway, we have got a spaceship. We've got Mando. We're moving back to space, folks. So basically, this is the Mando.
Frank Bruno.
No, hang on. We need to go back to sequencing. Right. So this is the Mando who is now speaking via this intercom to this Mando, who's on the fleet. Is that right?
Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, he's on the Imperial cruiser because tells them that they've got to go down there and help Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
While he grabs the controls of the cruiser to do an animal gender studies type maneuver.
That's right.
So, just reminding us of the shit going on. You know what? I had no idea this was a Mandalorian ship, and it was only when I looked closely and I recognised the insignia on the bottom. You know, you blink and you miss it. It's very small, but it is there.
Did we not crack that gag last week as well?
Oh,
We
we
did.
do one every week.
To remember.
We do one every week. So back to the Death Star, folks, and it's getting interesting because Mando is about to kick some ass. Not Revenge of the Sith.
No, that
Phantom
bit-
Menace style.
That bit was when one of the Mandos landed on the ship and him told them, that they need to get off the ship and need to go down. Yeah, go down and help the rest of them.
Can I make a bold statement?
A bold statement.
A bold. Considering this is a TV show, the quality of how it looks, it's movie quality, if not better.
Oh, God.
Well, this is it.
True, but it does suffer diminishing returns, given that we can say that about a huge number of modern TV shows.
Yeah, we can.
At some point, this becomes the standard. And you can't rely on
down,
impressive visuals with basically shite writing forever.
So is this where the Mandos all? Yeah, we get
Yeah,
it.
He turns up. He says, "You need to get onto the dropships because the TIE interceptors and bombers are coming. I'll take control of the capital ship. We'll use it as a decoy. You get on your ships and you go down to reinforce the people on the planet." Now, you might think that's a stupid strategy because as soon as the dropships land or get toward the planet's surface, they will be detected. But the episode forgets that, so that isn't what happens. And in fact, they fly past each other in the clouds.
I didn't get that.
Very stupid. Very stupid.
Did the glitter rolled in turd? Come and
Watching
go.
that the
was
first time, I thought the entire fleet had been done in, sort of similar to the Dothraki in the very, well, not the finale of Game of Thrones, but one of the latter episodes. It was kind of unclear as to what actually did happen.
It just special
Drink.
effects are good. That's all you can. That's all you can give. That's all you can say, really. Special effects are good. That's about it. It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
That's a rather sexy pose, isn't it? I think he's just landed on that platform.
He's the one that looks like Boba Fett. His costume's just like Boba Fett's. If you look at it closely, same colours and everything.
Again, beautiful ships, Mandos ready to rock. I mean, it was building something. I was expecting a bit more of a. We got a bit of a flying battle, didn't we? But I was expecting something a little bit more epic scale. But we just didn't have the time for it. Some nice shots here. Anyone want to give a bit of cred?
No,
yeah, that's good.
Noise.
Moist. Moist.
Boom.
And then we have the TIE interceptors as we have the Mando ships dive bombing.
Really
TIE interceptors flying
Get your
upwards.
drinks ready, everybody. Get your
Like
drinks
everything
ready.
else about this, you can look at one shot, you can say, yeah, that looks nice. And then the next shot comes around and you think, okay, that was fucking dumb. So they basically fly their entire fleet down through the clouds at the exact same time and place as all of these TIEs are flying up through the clouds. The odds of them hitting each other are pretty damn high. The odds of them seeing each other are even higher than that. But no, I guess.
Ruin, stop spoiling my look at that moment.
Well, you're looking at that, but I'm looking at the chat, and we get some doozies coming in. Brian, can we call upon your talents to do your very best Rose from Titanic, please?
Rose from Titanic.
Rose? Who the fuck? I haven't seen Titanic. Someone told me the ending. I didn't.
Oh my
watch
God,
it.
you've not seen Titanic.
I honestly haven't.
Well, anything you can do which is along the lines of Kate Winslet, if you've seen her in anything else.
Kate Winslet.
Kate fucking Winslet. What's
Why is
just the
everyone
chat? Put the chat back up. Is that?
someone outraged at Kate Winslet?
Well, you're trying to get him to do women, and he can't do
I'm trying to
women
get
too
him
well.
to do the famous Kate Winslet line, which Amber Sidaway has punned on screen. Brian, I'll take whatever you've got remotely female sounding.
Amber Sidaway in the chat says, "Draw me like one of your Mandos, Jack."
There we go. There we go. Kate Winslet. How many hours of streams have we done? Nothing has provoked more outrage
Obviously,
than me
not
saying
enough.
Kate Winslet. So anyway, back to the action, folks. Oh, Brownie's got these. What's going on?
I am just so speechless because this part here, fuck me, they look real.
It's very Star Warsy, isn't it?
They just look real. I was just incredible.
Brownie, while you're ejaculating all over yourself, could you read out Hostman's contributions, please?
Oh, you mean this one? Bank of Hostman for $5. Why did the
Dothraki
do a frontal assault? Use Lizzo as a torpedo and flank that Suma bitch.
There you go. He's got it all planned out.
Looks like a toy. Those shots look like toys.
You're not digging those.
No,
Megan.
sorry. I was just blown away by the
shots.
quality of those shots.
I'm with Mega on this one.
Looks
A little
twish.
too. They're just too clean, too well lit, almost. Too much lighting. But anyway, space battle rages. We've always got to have a space battle. Take a giant, big member
Everybody
berry
take a drink. Can we
down
just
in
leave
one,
that for a few?
folks.
Look at that.
But we do
Isn't
like it, don't we?
that
We do like it.
beautiful. Isn't that beautiful?
I do like a nice shiny helmet.
Especially a black one.
Oh,
Yeah. You never go back
incredible.
when you go black.
So nice cockpit, nice cock as well. Explosions, bright
We can't
lights.
call it cockpit though, can we? Is it
It was-
gender-specific pit?
Oh,
No.
Don't bring that up.
Yes.
This Axe Wolves, the actor who plays him, isn't very good, is he? He makes Jack Crusher look like Sir John Gielgud, book and pass.
Yeah.
Crotch pit.
Yeah, crotch pit. That's it.
There
Cheers,
we
R2,
go. Thank
B2.
you.
Yeah,
And
good. Forgot we're old. Sorry, mate.
and Smilex says it's the second biggest black helmet he's seen today. He, she, they, them, man, baby. I don't know. But let's not judge everyone. Each their own. We
Don't
love you
even
all.
go nowhere near Princess Fiona's comment. Because
You look hard for.
I'm going to boot you myself.
Fiona, it's very naughty. You'll
Pack it
annoy
in.
Brownie. But we appreciate it. So this is the one Mando, isn't he? Basically trying to take on the entire fleet of.
Yeah, what a waste of a ship.
Did anyone think he was going to die? Looked like it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did look like it.
A bit, yeah, maybe.
The thing that made me laugh though is who's the one with the fur coat again? The
Emily
Mando
Swallow.
with the fur coat. Everybody was firing weapons and she had a hammer and she was hitting people with the
If I
hammer.
had a hammer.
You think that somebody would just take her out because she's got no weapons in her. She only got a hammer. It was
And give her a good
ridiculous.
hammering, yeah.
Yeah.
Fur coat and knee knickers, as they say.
Oh yes. Nice shots again. Ooh, green lasers, controversial.
Look, take a drink, everybody.
Yes, it's rather nice. We do like the
quality of it.
visuals. We
Quality.
always give them credits. Yes. And it's back to the Death Star. So
God, just move it along, will you? Jeez.
This will be the video game part that Brian was talking about.
Yeah, we're going to need Brian back in for this. So, so Yoda's still being dragged along in this goddamn carcass, and here we go. Here's the video game. We're literally getting video game scenes now. Brian, talk us through this, and I'll cycle us through these slides. You give us the commentary.
Phantom Menace. That's what it is.
It is. It's a total rip-off of the Phantom Menace. It's partly a rip-off of the Phantom Menace and partly a rip-off of A New Hope as well.
Yeah.
If you watch it, except they kind of do it in reverse. You know, there's a kind of pause between Mando asking R5D4 to remove the last shield.
Yeah.
And R5 zapping the mouse droid, then removing the shield. It was totally out of The New Hope, but with the kind of trash compactor scene.
Yeah.
The difference was, you know, the walls are closing in, so there's a lot of threat to them there. There's no real threat when these guys aren't coming through.
Yeah.
They've done it in reverse almost, so they've fucked that up. Yeah.
I'm assuming that the Beskar is not only white, it's black as well, because at their torso they have the shit thing as well, don't they? So maybe their legs are covered in it as well.
It doesn't make any sense, as the Lord pointed out, because Bo-Katan slices one right through the Beskar armor with a Darksaber.
So they go knife to the neck.
Darksaber for you. Are these guards like stuck in between each of these little laser walls?
Yeah, well, they are, yeah.
All right, what if they need to go to the toilet?
Exactly. Piss in their costume, innit?
Piss, yeah. Piss in your armor, anyway.
What if it's all integrated where they can piss into the suit?
Yeah, probably.
Like a space suit.
You're running pure headcanon, Brown, at the moment.
Andy Mouse can't believe we've only got to this point.
Yeah, I know. Same here.
Quarter to 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, dicking about.
Don't worry, everybody. You've all got a long weekend. You can all
No,
tell your boss at
a long
work.
Weekend. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Tell your bosses. Ruin said it's okay. It said it's okay. Okay, so look, Mando's kicking ass. He's going through the computer levels. R5's helping him out.
And it's worth noting as well how quickly he dispatches people when he has a melee weapon. And how long it takes him when he doesn't have one. And yet he voluntarily throws away the melee weapon, which is very, very effective, in order to get his guns back, which are not very effective. Because I guess the next scene demands that he does that. But yet the internal logic of the fight scenes doesn't make much more sense than the internal logic of the rest of the show.
Kirantos says 3 a.m. finish. Oof. Do our best.
Well, that's going to be 2 a.m.
Push for it.
Just move it along, will you? Jeez.
I am. I'm doing my best, mate.
So look, the fight continues. Basically, it's Mando taking out one of these guys or two of these guys at a time, isn't it? Never really get into that much trouble, but some nice weapons.
I did like this where he clanked him over the head with it. He went, dong. That was quite good.
Yeah,
What
lots
noise
of
did he
those.
make, bro?
Dong.
Set that up. Thanks.
And here we go. This is the scene I rather liked, as stupid as it was. But if you're going to do a bit of stupid humor, do it with the right characters at the right moment. It's the mouse droid.
Yeah,
Take a
what's with the
big
fucking
drink,
police lights?
you retro baits. Z, our droid experts. Did they always have these police lights on? Is this a new addition?
This is a new addition, as far as I'm aware. As is going back to get some mates to gang up on astromechs. I've never seen them do that before.
Yeah, and apparently, other than having little flashing lights and the ability to mildly ram, they don't seem to have much other
Purpose.
tools available or purpose. Yes.
Z, are you available?
I am. Hostman Socrates in the chat says, wait a Mando fucking minute. We stole the idea of a little guy inside a big exoskeleton from Kazdan Paratus in The Force Unleashed.
What a great spot,
Yes.
Postman. Yep, he's right.
It wasn't even earlier than that. It was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, wasn't it? What was the guy's name? Krang, was it? Krang.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Then again,
Also-
the idea of cloning
Alien
force
as
sensitive
well.
people as well is Jedi Outcast and the preceding Jedi titles, when the whole point of those is that there is an Empire remnant faction which is trying to imbue force sensitive abilities into its subjects. It works better in those games, though, because the games set up limits. The New Republic is much more effective and expansive, meaning that the Sith, who are trying to recreate force-sensitive people, actually have limits on their abilities. They have to do it clandestinely. They have to do it underground. So there can't be too many of them. And that works, kind of. I mean, it gets a bit silly when you get these weird extra-dimensional beings that come in, but the rest of it works pretty well compared to this, which is just, we are the precursor to the First Order. We are going to clone Jedi or clone force-sensitive abilities. No one puts any check on us at all. And so Snoke will come into being, and no one really has anything to say about that. That's absent world building, where the games did it pretty well.
So we've got a nicely done, softly cup marbles. We have the scenes of Mando kicking ass, interspersed with the light humor of the droids. Someone said, what was it, Boys in the Lab? Scouse droid. I don't know what the gag is there. Someone elaborate? I'm sure he's being offensive. I hope
Scouse
so.
rhymes with mouse? That's
is that all? Oh, I thought we were being much more offensive than that. That's disappointing as a...
We just travel around going, you are, they do, don't they?
You are.
Hey.
Calm down.
Take it up, hey.
Accrington Stanley. Who are they?
Was that a Pakistani Scouser there, bro?
Yes.
God, careful. So here's the whole gang of mouse droids. I know it's daft, I know it's stupid, but it did give me a little chuckle.
But it's so dumb. They found out that this droid is the one taking down the most secure of all secure facilities on this entire base, and rather than inform anyone, they just decide to lightly ram him, to use someone's phraseology from earlier. It's just no, you feed that information back. This is the thing that allows Mando to destroy the most valuable assets on the base. What are you doing?
Do you notice one of them lemmings themselves off the end?
Yes, I know. I was
Yeah, I
so
noticed that.
sad. Yes, he does. It's here. You see him just going
Yeah.
off the edge.
Nice to cut, Brown.
Yeah.
Rue, you available, mate?
I'm always available for you, Brownie. And Obi-Wan Dark Side for 5 crisp euros. We left Europe, Dark Side. Don't be sending us back out. Currency, if you don't mind. Obi-Wan Dark Side says, so late to the party. I'm looking forward to watching this again. I don't know whether he's referring to the stream or the whole of Mando season 3, but if it's the stream, we hope you enjoy it, Dark Side, and we send our love and best wishes to you.
Let's crack on.
Let's not get bogged down with absolutely anything, because it's so damn late. Mando has finished kicking ass. Baby Yoda's still inside this fucking robot, and at some point, I think we're working our way up towards a confrontation. before that, we've got some bloody
They're all the
clones.
same.
Mega Geek, we know
Yeah.
you love a clone. What do you think of this scene?
I just thought it was stupid, really. It's just
Why
like-
is it stupid?
Because why would you have, if you're going to make a clone army, why would you make a clone army with your face on it? Do you know what I mean? And they know where it comes from. They know that he did it.
Because he's a narcissist.
He's a twat.
Yes, but not only are they clones of Moff Gideon, they're perfectly complete with force powers as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But 20 years later, they can only make an absolute fucking mutant when they're doing Snoke.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that. I
understand.
mean, if you go back to the previous slide, were they deliberately trying to make them look a bit opaque and Snoke-like?
Don't
I
know.
thought.
Well, the one that opens his eyes looks like a perfect copy.
It does. Yeah, it does.
Brownie, I'm
Zee,
not touching that with
I was gonna say,
with a gaffy stick, so someone else can tackle
Zee,
that
could you
one.
do your finest Z droid voice?
Hosman Socrates in the chat for $5 says, the mouse droids speak Pakistani, worship Allah, and hijack starships. 9/11 rating on creativity. Well, that's not exactly true, because otherwise they would have exploded when they hit R5.
Don't careful now, Lord. He'll be having 9/11
YouTube,
flashbacks.
that's nothing to do with me, by the way.
Yeah.
YouTube, that's nothing to do
We
with me.
don't
It
encourage
didn't say
this at
9/11,
all.
it was 9 out of 11. That's a very different thing.
Oh, okay. Yes, Spinal Tap reference. Very good.
And they shout out their favourite rebel leader as they're doing it. Admiral Akbar.
There's the shot of that it is actually Moff Gideon in the clone juice.
I thought the Yoda puppetry on this episode was fantastic.
No, really?
Yeah,
Did
Oh,
you?
shit.
Yeah, the close up of the faces. Yeah,
Maybe the face, but the movements and that. I thought it was
yeah,
a bit below par.
the facial movements and stuff are very excellent.
Brownie, we do seem to have a really unique thing going on here where so many people, even though they're not interested in Mando
know,
or in
unbelievable,
watching
isn't
it, do like to enjoy our commentary and our roasting of it. So please do read out Obi-Wan's dark
Obi-Wan
appreciation.
Obi-Wan-esque dark side for
Obi-Wan's dark side.
Honest.
Obi-Wan's dark side for €5. I've never watched the third season. Loving the stream. Absolute champions of a lot of you.
Where do we think
Very much.
Obi-Wan's dark side from? I think that's like absolute champions, a bit of a northeastern terminology. I bet you he's. I'm not going to dox the guy, but I bet you he's.
Champion.
Is he an expat?
Probably an ex-con. Wow, that's a look, isn't it?
Yeah.
As someone said in the messages earlier, black don't crack. Are we finding out this is why they don't crack? Is this the secrets?
Was that Majors when he got arrested?
Oh, God.
Black don't crack.
So there we go. He was trying to create a clone army of himself. That was
Force sensitive versions of himself. But if this is the most important thing that you own, maybe having it in the corridor onto the way to the communications room is not the best place to put them. Like, could you not have guarded these people a little bit more heavily, put them in the basement, kept them anywhere more secure than a corridor?
We had all the laser barriers before, so
with
I
like
disagree
5
with
laser
you.
barriers with about 10 troopers who were shit.
No, it's
But
because Mando was excellent.
But the show has already established that Mando can't cut through blast doors. So maybe put them behind some doors instead. You would do a much better job.
Or even hide them still. Just don't have
hide them.
You know.
I don't actually recall all these clone tanks being there when Moff Gideon walked through the laser doors into his control center.
That's a different
in the
room,
last
though.
episode.
Maybe they took another turning or something.
It's a different episode, therefore it's different rules.
I
Yeah.
see.
They ripped this effect off Obi-Wan, didn't they?
Well, he's just getting a nice wash, that's all.
yeah. Nikki insists that Lordy's tones down the logic because hey, we're talking Disney Star Wars here. So that's the clones done for, isn't it? Mando kibosh those, so it's back to flying Mandos, and Yeah, we're back into the caves of Mandalore.
Is this with their short-range
Oh.
rocket packs of about 20 feet, which
Yeah.
they can now go suborbital?
Oh, they can fly for as long as they need to do battle for, it seems. But hey, we've got a nice respite here. We've got an underground
Star Trek 2
garden.
reference,
It's the
everybody.
Genesis cave.
It is. Definitely.
Give me Genesis!
Like, oh, it's a bit of green.
Andy Mouse thinks you're away with the fairies, Brown, that you're in love with this episode. Just putting it out there. Brownie, I'm going to pause the stream at this point.
Oh, here we go.
I do
right,
need to get your opinion on something. So Mercedes, front and center. I know we've got a nice profile shot of Botox there, nice cheekbones, nice perky little you know what. But right in the middle, we've got Mercedes, helmet off, headband on.
Whose helmet? Mine.
My question for you is, if out of 10, if I asked you what would you give her out of 10, and you can only score the decimals between 1 and 10, what would you give her?
Out of 10?
Out of 10.
A mark, yeah.
I need
Mercedes,
a number out of 10.
I think she's a very nice looking.
Oh.
I'd give her 1.
I'd give her 1, folks. There we go. It took him a while.
Did you see how he almost subverted our expectations with that joke? And then...
There's only one person who can do that.
Oh, yes, the master of subversion.
You're too kind, sir.
People are getting set. Oh, you've started something in the chat now. Drew will give it 8. Cute
give
with a fit bod.
8.
Give it 8. Well, if you don't know the
Mercedes pronouns, yeah.
Franco's with the brownie.
Lord, are you available for a moment?
I suppose so.
Could you explain to me the thinking behind pronouns?
Oh God! You know what?
Are you being serious?
Move along, please. Jeez.
It's not like we start an hour later.
I'm just totally confused.
We're crawling our way through this.
Brown, I know you don't get out of your bed until 2 p.m, but the rest of us have got stuff to do in the morning.
That's all right.
Moving on.
Save it for the Sunday show. It can be a Sunday thing.
Okay. Right.
I know who to go to though if I do need some advice on pronouns. Obviously, Lord is the oracle on that one. Mercedes again, just a nice shot for Brown. Has she had any lines again? No.
She said a couple of words this episode. Yeah.
She said, "Get me out of this shit."
Warlock there, folks. Warlock from Top Gun.
Weathered Mandos. He has a nice line about the garden. He says something. Oh, what did he say? Brian will know. I bet you.
We're farmers. Vegetables,
he says something like
no,
about the growing. He says, "Oh, you just need the room to grow it," or something really profound.
They grow some tomatoes and stuff, and crap like that.
Yeah, they grow.
Did you see the amount of weed we have?
Warlock was in this week's Barry as well. Did you notice that, Ian?
Yes, I noticed that. We'll talk about that later. But
everybody check out Barry. It's fantastic.
Barry, yeah.
Brownie, you're getting some love from Barbara Lawrence.
Oh, Johnny Lawrence's mum. Hello.
Listen.
Johnny?
I came home from a shite shift at work. I had a couple of double vodkas, settled in for the remainder of this live stream. Well, don't worry, Barbara, we've still got 3 hours to go. And I'm here to tell you all, I'm all in on Brownie's fanboy love. There you go.
You could read that in 2 ways. Does that mean that she's all in on fanboy love for Brown's stream? Or does that mean that she's all in on Brown's fanboy love for this episode?
Well, either way, it's bad.
What about both?
Either way. Good point, yes.
Way, yeah.
What does Brown love fanboys?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or did she misspell fanboys?
Well, when you get to my age, you know.
Lady boys. Brownie... There's your girl. She's looking, unusual expression.
Too much work, Katie. Sorry. I love you, but...
What about this chap?
It's Warlock, isn't it?
Yeah. So I can't remember what they're discussing here, but it's just I
was perplexed by the entire point of that scene, which I think was just, as you say, the pause before the storm. But they're talking about how, when we lived here, we didn't give the planet space to grow, and now we've left, and the Empire nuked it. it's had space to grow, I think is the it's a weird
Yeah, something
little
like
unnecessary scene, I think.
Yes, if it did feel like they just needed some, because it's barreling along this 30-odd minute episode finale, it just needed a respite. But we're back to the action. They are helmeting up, and they're flying off again through, I think, another conveniently placed
Don't they
hole
run
in the
out of
ruf.
fuel?
No,
Not
we
that's
should
just
anymore.
the unlimited fuel hacks for this episode.
There was an
Yes.
action replay code for the Game Boy version of Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which would give you unlimited jetpack.
Is that what
fuel.
they've
And
done then?
I think that's what they've done. Yeah.
Okay.
Up, left, L1, L2.
Mando's flying through the air, unlimited fuel, not like in The Last
Oh,
Jedi,
God, that's
where
nice,
we
that's
tackle the
nice.
issues of fuel poverty. But anyway, let's not get political. Nice shots of the ship, and
Yeah.
Mandos. The flying Mandos. They do look great, don't they?
Now,
We do love the flying Mandos.
Mega
Is
Geek
that-
pointed this out. Why is the armorer fighting in midair with hammer and tongs? Why is she do that
It's her thing.
as a strictly close quarters weapon against an enemy with
Don't
blasters? And she's flying down like, I don't know.
She is, but they're also the only weapon guaranteed to be effective against Beskar because they hone the Beskar.
Ah,
So if more
There you
Mandalorians
go.
used
Very
just
good.
hammer and tongs and abandoned their blasters, they might have had more luck
Very
in
good.
the previous episode.
Connor, how dare you?
I will just quickly say, chin chin, Barbara. Cheers.
You've got a thing going on with Barbara Brownie. You got something you want to? There's a lot of love going on.
She's
between
one of
you
my
two.
mods. You've got to look after the mods.
Oh,
Look after the mods, and they will look after you. Moving
There we
on.
go.
I was going to say, if Johnny Lawrence had a mother, he must have had a father. But that might be
It's
something
not
else
me.
entirely. Oh, okay.
No, it's not me.
Flying Mandos, folks, and
When are they going to start scissoring?
oh, Brown, do you have to drag it into the gutter every goddamn week? She draws the
Darksaber.
dark saber, yes, which is very I don't know,
Dark.
leading the light charge, wasn't it? Yes, yep. They call him Jimmy Savile in those parts, Barbara. I'd be careful if I were you. Mando's in space, folks.
I give up. I
and
give up.
We're going to have an almighty battle.
There you go. Melvin
between.
Deeply. Rest in peace, Calclon. There you go, Melvin. You're
I
welcome.
see this every week. I've got no idea what it means, but I'll just smile and continue.
I love it when you see Rest in Peace Calclon on other people's streams, you know, the biggest streams. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
So, thoughts on this battle? Z, what did you think? We get a little bit of action here between flying Mandos and flying stormtrooper type things. What do you make of it, Z?
Oh, I made of it pew, 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 pew,
Slash.
and filler. That's what it felt like.
If I just looked up from my phone and saw this, I would be creaming in my underpants.
Oh God, Brown. Well, let's get.
Go on,
oh, you want me to do it? Okay. Well,
Yeah, go
our TNZ says with again. This time he's thrown 50 cents on top of his 5 New Zealand dollars. Video game analogies are very apt. This episode was a succession of boss fights and cutscenes with the viewer switching POV character, just not as much plot. I think he's very on the goddamn
I thought
nose,
exactly
if you
the
don't mind me
same thing, to
saying
be
it.
fair,
Yes,
yeah.
he's on the nose. I know. I was just hoping for better in this big final battle than a bit of flying, slashing, and pew pew. I dread to ask Mega Geek what he thought because I can
What's
only
that?
imagine the flying fight, Mega.
What,
Any
with
love for
all
the
of them?
flying fights?
Yeah, as I said, the action was quite good in this.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
what more can you say? It's just really daft moments in there as well, like the woman with the hammer hitting people is like, that's not really a weapon. Let's face. Well, it is kind of, but you know what I mean. She didn't even have a blaster on her or anything, did she?
Oh.
And this bit where Gideon goes, I'll take him on myself, and he walks off. Yet when Mandalorian goes to the same place where he was, he didn't go anywhere. He's just waiting for him. Where did he walk off to? That was the question. I was like, what? But anyway.
So we're working our way up to the final boss, I suppose, if we're using computer game analogies. It's
Yeah.
Moff Gideon.
Gina Carano was my Twitter twin. Did anybody see that?
I did see that, Brown. Yes,
I
this
was
thing
just like-
going around, isn't it? Yeah.
My mind was blown.
Well, let's not get bogged down into Twitter twins, but I'd love to know how
do
it
they
works.
calculate that? Is that just you simping over her constantly on Twitter? Is that how they do it?
I've had no interaction with her at all.
Oh,
And
you
my
stalker.
mind
Maybe it's
was
stuff that you
blown.
mentioned in the past on Twitter, and they just calculated the algorithm
I
calculated.
was almost tempted to go put some lottery numbers on at the same time. But
Made your day, that Brownie, didn't it?
it did.
Yes, but anyway, she's a much loved and much gone character from the Mandalorian, all the way back in season 1, was it?
Seems like a
one.
lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Oh, good God. It does. Seems like a lifetime ago from when we started this stream, Brownie. But
2 hours ago.
we are getting into it between Mando and Moff Gidders. Chordy, give me your thoughts on this final boss scene, if you would, sir.
Thoughts. I don't really have
Finally
many.
got 'em.
Like, it makes very little sense. So he has super Beskar armor, which is hyper effective against everything. Mando has complete Beskar armor, which is not very effective against things that the plot doesn't want it to be. He brings out these weird little 3 Praetorian Guard people, even though he could have just done this himself. And I thought the entire point of him going away earlier was that he wanted to have the honor of taking down Mando one-on-one, but here he doesn't bother with that. It gets worse, however, because they've subdued Mando, as we see here. Then Baby Yoda comes out in his stupid IG-11 suit.
No.
No. And then they think, you know what? No, we've subdued this more important, much more threatening villain. We're going to leave him alone for a bit and go and take on this baby in his skeleton suit. And that'll be fine.
No.
The logic of the fight scene makes no sense.
It's just to get him separated from Baby Yoda so that he can fight Darth Gideon. whatever his name
But
is.
also, and I think we've mentioned this before, Moff Gideon knows that his clones have been destroyed. How did he get the clones? Those were his biggest, most important goal. He got them because he needed Baby Yoda for his blood to make the clones.
Right.
The clones have been destroyed. What is the first thing in Moff Gideon's mind? It must surely be, oh shit, there's the little baby Jedi thing again. I need to get him back to get more blood. It's not, I need to take on this random, inconsequential Mandalorian. That's not what he should be thinking at this moment. But instead, no, he just sends his Praetorian Guards off to take on Grogu while he carries on beating up Mando for a bit. Like, none of the motivations add up in this show at all.
There's Hammer Woman.
There she is. Hinge and Swallocks says, where was Baby Yoda during The Last Jedi, Ruin the Man Baby? Well, if you were watching carefully, Hingy, you would have noticed on Canto Bite, when they were all eating and drinking, someone was consuming Baby Yoda. You see just one of his little legs, one of the aliens gobbling him down. So that's his...
If I may, Franco Walker nails it. There you go.
Oh, go on, Ian.
It is shite.
Take a drink, folks. Everyone. So, Mando battles.
It's just going to go past that bottom shot as quick as that when I spent ages getting.
Oh,
perfect.
which one, Brian? Which one do you like? This one?
Oh,
It's
yes.
the R shot. Oh, it is. You know what, Brian? I couldn't see it. I was, but. Oh,
But wouldn't that mean that the jetpack is scorching her ass much more than it would anybody else? Because it's curving up into the course of the flame, so surely her ass is very, very painful at this point.
I think
Well,
Z. Go on, Z.
I'm guessing it uses the same fuel supply as their flamethrowers, which means it doesn't burn anything.
Arse.
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 Speak
The
like
thing
a
is that
pirate.
to do effects like this, it takes a very, very long time to do. I mean, they must have farmed this effects out to around the world just to get this scene done.
I think I saw in the credits digital domain and
Oh,
ILM.
right. So,
So there you go. So it's just
Cameron's
not.
Cameron's company as well as
It's
Lucas.
yeah. It does look fantastic for a
Yeah.
TV show.
A lot of money spent on it.
Shame they didn't spend the extra $5 on the script, but there you go.
You can't see the arse. What are you talking about? You just about see it. What's everybody going
Fix
on
your
about
screen
arse?
settings.
Go on, Ruin. Do the.
Oh, well, it's RRT and Z. It's like we're bros tonight. And he, she, they, them. Please put your pronouns in the chat so I know. Says Gideon has the worst plan ever. His Beskar-wearing troops could defeat the Republic's army easily. Instead, attacks the only group who could beat them. Well, logic fail. It's par for the course, I'm afraid.
That's the thing you see. All the normies see is the pew 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 and the fight
Cheers,
at the
Melvin.
ending, and they think it's it's acceptable. But when you dig deeper, which normies don't do anyway, you realise it's a lot of bollocks, isn't it? The whole thing's bollocks.
I would say a fart might ignite if you're not careful. But
cause problems.
here you go. Tim, I like saying this. Hadabom. FX, 6 months, writing 1 day. Half a day.
Yeah, nailed it, Tim.
Yeah, you're overestimating. I can do like a 20,000 word script in a day, and it will be better than this shit. So no, they didn't take a day on this script. They took like 20 minutes at most, because there's multiple of them as well, and none of them ever thought, you know what my colleague wrote is a bit shit. Maybe we should revisit that or discuss it. But no one ever did that.
Quick welfare check with Not Brian. Did we spend enough time on that R slide, Brian?
Oh, yes.
Oh, he's happy now. He's happy, folks. He cracked one out, as they say. So,
this bit was so funny and stupid as.
Oh God, yeah. This was the opposite to the mouse droid scene, where the mouse droid scene was kind of a kind of side character, droid character, out the way, not a problem. This was right in the middle of all the action. It was featuring Baby Yoda, and it made the Praetorian Guards look absolutely fucking ridiculous, which, I don't know, I'm kind of jealous of.
Continuity.
Here you go, Paige Ashley.
Oh, Platoon
is a pro.
Prostitutes. Oh,
it reminds me of the first time we saw Yoda fight this scene. Do you remember?
I think that's what they were going for as well. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Look at the clones.
Yeah, so he's running around this thing, isn't he, while they're chopping away at us. It's frankly ridiculous.
You can get away with it in isolated scenes when he's supposed to be kind of it's so bad it's good. But when he's in concert with people who are supposed to be like highly trained and highly choreographed, it's like a Team America puppet versus any given action movie star. It looks too bad to be funny, which is not what they were going for.
So is his cape made of Beskar as well? How come he didn't catch fire his cape? I don't understand what's going on here.
No, it's a good point. And also, it's unwise of them to show fire being ineffective in this scene, given what we're about to see happen to both of them.
Yeah. Well, maybe he didn't die. Maybe he'd be back in Mandalorian.
Oh, he'll be back, yeah. No one's ever truly gone, as they say.
What if his clones? What if his clones?
Well, all his clones got mullered, didn't they?
Well, the ones we saw. But...
And maybe it's not really Darth Gideon. It could be a clone of Darth Gideon.
Yes,
Darth
you
Gideon
can tell the real
else.
one. The real one's got a moustache.
Yes.
Brownie.
No, I'm pulling rank here. I'm not liking the darkness of some of these comments.
Oh, okay, so let's get back to the light.
But the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. Some consider to be demonetized.
Brownie, do you remember when Not Brian paid you a visit in your flat in Yorkshire, and you spent the weekend together? You went to the movies. You went back to your place. You only had tango. You had no iron brew, but Brian brought the Leia costume and he put it on. And he'd done his hair up. And here's the immortal line that you spoke to Brian.
Brian, act like you've never acted before.
And it was sweet. And the channel was born, folks. There's your backstory. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. So anyway, the stuff is continuing to happen back on the Mandalorian. People continuing to be shot up to no effect whatsoever because everyone's wearing fucking Beskar. This Bint is wielding the dark saber about, so good luck with that. And anyone?
Yes, she
What's going on?
spots. She spots Mando in a bit of trouble, and
he's got to be
Moff Gideon.
Is anyone keeping count how many times Mando's been saved so far? 3, 4?
No, this is about the 5th time I think he's been saved.
I thought it was every other episode, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I suppose. Also, right, does it mean to say she's not in charge of the Mando since her sword got mullered in this?
Good point.
Oh my god, that's incredibly stupid, and they won't ever address it. You know they won't address it, but the fact that the Darksaber, the most important relic they've been after the entire time, and he could just crush the handle with his fist, and that must have severe consequences. But the show thinks, you know what? Nah, we don't care anymore. What's the point?
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah.
I felt they only did that because of the Last Jedi breaking Luke's lightsaber.
Maybe
They had so many member berries. It's going to far out.
Brian, are you available for a super chat, please?
Certainly. Hosman Socrates in the chat for $5 says, I do believe the confused-looking Puss in Boots avatar is more appropriate than the HK-47 one for this episode.
I've still not seen Puss in Boots.
I know I've not seen it. I've heard good things. Baby Yoda here, stuck under a relatively small pole. I think it was RRTNZ noted how earlier in his life he stopped a charging rhinoceros in its tracks, but can't move a small pole.
This is the Batman Begins bit. What's the point of all those push-ups if you can't even lift a bloody blockbuster, mate?
Brian, while you're doing accents, have you got an Anakin Skywalker in the bag at all?
No, I don't. He's Canadian. I don't know.
No. You have to deliver it with basically as minimal inflection as possible, I think is the rule.
No, do it as Michael Caine. Go on.
It is Mick Jagger.
Like a dancing fucking bear, isn't he? We just prodded.
Michael Caine.
Jada Spitfires in the chat says, I don't like Mandy's coarse, rough, irritating, and lose every fight, not like Bo's soft and smooth.
Oh, Jaden Smith eyes. How about that?
You're welcome, man, babies.
Oh, Mando babies, more like.
If I'd done that as Michael Caine, it would have been better.
So, Baby Yoda, moments of peril, folks. He's got the Praetorians bearing down him, and is it Mando to the rescue?
Yeah,
I've lost track of who's who. Yeah, Mando to the rescue. Meanwhile, Botox Karen's going to take on Moff Gideon. Yes.
See, I don't understand this, right? Usually the hero takes on the bad guy. Why did he run off to get Baby Yoda? Wouldn't have been better if Botox Karen went off for Baby Yoda.
The through line is supposed to be, and she actually has the line to this effect, but she said, so she intervenes and she says, you go and rescue your kid.
Yeah.
And so the through line is supposed to be, this is Mando discovering that actually he has higher priorities than beating bad guys. He's a father now, basically. Now, we probably got that back in season 1, episode 2, that this is what the show was going for. It's not developed it. It's not gone any further with it. It makes no sense. We don't really understand what Mando's priorities are. He has no mission. Remember the episode, was it the previous one or the 2 episodes ago when he says that he will serve her until her song is written?
Yeah.
So that's supposed to be his priority now. But then no, that can't work. So his whole shtick is supposed to be, he's a surrogate father, which he's been throughout. There's not been any character development with these people at all. They only really did it, I think, because they wanted her to have her triumphant moment in beating the bad guy, even though really it should have been him.
Should have been him, yeah. I mean, it's woman bosses and all this crap in Star Wars and everything that Disney does, isn't it? So
kind of in their defense, and I hate to say this, but I've already shown Mando beating Moff Gideon. They really want to do that again? I don't know. I think it was.
It's like replacing Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi at the ending and putting Princess Leia in there to take.
Yeah, well, you could say this entire series has been like that.
Exactly. Yeah,
they do have a better. Actually, Botox Karen does have a better story. They would have been better off calling this entire series the Botox Karen Show.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. This could have been 10 times better if they just thought about it properly.
Yeah. How many Disney Star Wars events have we said that about?
Well, you know, obviously there are rumours flying around. The rumour is Fav hasn't got anything to do with this season, really, because he walked.
If he did, I don't blame him.
And it's effectively Filoni is the showrunner, and they're giving money to Fav.
Keiko's giving him more power, isn't he?
Yeah, so it's basically Favreau's gone and Filoni's doing this, so there you go. But I'm sure the truth will come out eventually, but there you go.
As Ruin is away to the little boys' room.
Oh,
you're advancing the slides already.
Should we do the... Here you go. Hostman, Socrates, $5. Thank you, sir. Slag off Mando. You don't get the Last of Us game payoff without putting in the legwork.
Yeah. This is the bit where he drives that thing into the ground, doesn't he?
I would say
it's a franchise.
Yeah.
Holdo maneuver.
Yeah, he does the whole.
Couldn't they have tried to secure the base without this big, great thing coming in? Then they've got a fantastic base to operate from.
No, because they basically wanted the little Yoda to do something incredible with the Force. So they did all this rubbish, and it's like,
so that's why they took the base out. Okay,
as Ben says, because the script needed it to happen. So basically,
felt this was a bit of a Revenge of the Sith rip-off for the Inquisitorship, General Grievous's Inquisitorship coming.
Yeah. Good spot, Brian.
He just dives out the window.
We all thought he was going to need to sacrifice himself, but nope, he's got the Mando backpack,
he just
which
dived out the window. Yeah.
Does this guy not remember that his pals are actually in this base? He just
exactly.
Oh my God! Look at it! Just look at it. It's Axwo's coming in hot like a Taliban pilot on 9/11.
Dear.
Cheers.
Oh dear. There we go. There it is, folks.
Let's hope the people who review it don't take it to 2 hours 16. That's my only.
We should be okay. We've saved it till the end. So explosions, bright lights, lasers, and not much plot to it, in all honesty. But Botox Karen's still doing her best with a tiny little shield.
They should save him with a tiny shield.
Some would say
again,
Yoda-sized shield.
And also, just shoot anywhere else. The shield's incredibly small. Shoot her in the legs. You'll be fine.
And stream killer.
It's true. Comes little baby Yoda doing rubbish as well. Just come on, give us a break here.
He's basically just a troll in this entire sequence. He just nicks people's weapons from them like a video game asset, and then the ship crashes, and we'll remember, I'm sure, how effective fire has been prior to this. Which is why Baby Yoda's actions here are so incredibly important. I love the way, though, that Moff Gideon is basically just throwing his arms up in the air and saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake," and then he goes.
Okay, I'm going to ask the question. I think I know the answer. Is Moff Gideon dead?
No.
The real question you should be asking is, how comes there's no debris that falls on Baby Yoda and Botox and
because it's going down the cavern, isn't it?
Well, but come on, it's hitting all of the ceiling and everything. Everything should come down on them and kill them.
Are we not about to see the reason why? Because there we go, Baby Yoda creates.
Yeah, but there's no debris. It's just fire all around them. There's no bit of the ship falling on them, or rocks, or the mountain that's above them falling on them. You know what I mean? It's just, it makes no sense.
Here's your answer, Ian, from Franco.
Drink, everybody.
Exactly. Who cares? Exactly.
This has just felt like a rip-off of Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, where the bit where Groot just covers everyone.
Baby Yoda didn't die.
Didn't he have these bullshit fire shield powers in season 1?
Yep.
Where he's,
The-
but in this one, he creates an impenetrable force barrier that not only deflects the exploding ship, but also defies the laws of physics by reflecting the intense heat of the fire. They should have boiled inside that bubble.
They should have, yeah.
R2B2 makes a good
Wreckage
point
should
as
have,
well.
you know,
Zee, is there not a character from
Go on,
Rebels who does something similar in this?
Yeah, Kanan Jarrus does it just before he dies.
emphasis on dice.
Dumbledore also does it in Harry Potter toward the end,
Cheers, Nick.
and it looks very similar.
This shot. Sorry.
Go on, Brian. Sorry, my friend. Go for it.
That's very. I see through the lies of the Jedi shot in it from Revenge of the Sith as well. Confrontation at Mustafar.
Yeah, it's another member berry for all you drinkers out there. 1:30 in the
From
morning
my
on a
point of
weeknight.
view,
You
this
filthy
series is
people.
shit.
Scorched Mandalore, and
Oh god.
we're now. I mean that's it
Where's
for your
Chewie
action,
with
folks.
his medal?
We're into the basically the ceremony
When
and the
are they
wrap
going to
up.
start scissoring?
Hold on. So
That's a
why
kid.
was this focus
Oh,
on this
sorry.
kid now?
Sorry.
Why was the
I
focus
thought it
on
was
this kid?
Bo-Katan.
Oh my God, Brown.
That's Pax Vizslar's orphaned kid.
Well, you know what? I will say in my
Brown.
defence, that is the way these days.
Child.
This
That's a
time,
passage having an older lady getting your helmet wet.
Ah,
look at
Why?
him.
It's,
Just
Why?
look at him right there. If Din Djarin had
2 hours
only
19,
known
folks.
that he only had to go one step into the water
fucking hell.
Yes,
Hold
good
to have
point,
that
Z.
classed as bathing,
Is
then he
this
wouldn't have
guy?
strolled in and
Sorry, folks.
Is
almost
this guy
drowned.
the little guy? Is he the one that got captured by that pterodactyl
Yes.
thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And he's already taken his oath, so I don't know why
Exactly.
he's doing it again.
I will say
No.
also, older woman as well. That'd be good.
Oh, Brown.
This scene was so stupid.
An older woman for you would be a pensioner, but I don't know.
Well, it would have been great 30 years ago.
Pensioner, I think you misspelled deceased.
Cancelled.
Oh, good God.
No, that is
Go for
very
it.
dark. No. Cheers, Bridget.
So we go from the not the sublime to the
This is the way.
ridiculous, but just the ridiculous to the even more ridiculous. So we then come out with a really extrapolated reason why Baby Yoda can't become an apprentice, but he
Oh, God,
can
this is
if he
such
has
horseshit.
a father. And I knew you'd love it, Chordy.
They've been going on about the importance of the way for the entire 3 seasons, and it turns out the way is just whatever the fuck they need it to mean. So, like, he can't wear the helmet in season 3, episode 2 because he's not old enough to speak. But he is old enough to paintball gun children in the chest. In this part, it's like, well, he's too small, he can't speak yet, even though he can operate complex machinery. So, no, that won't work. Then Mando says, well, what if his parents said yes? And the armorer says, not that. The armorer says, well, his parents might be dead. And then so Mando says, well, I'll adopt him then, as though he hadn't done that since season 1, episode 1. And she says, well, okay, fine. That's now the way, I suppose. So now he's not just a foundling, he's now a trainee, initiate, Padawan, whatever the fuck they call them. And that's okay. But, like, what is this paying off? We've had 3 seasons of this exact thing and nothing has changed. But the way has just become this weird, amorphous, rules-free thing that, like, yeah, okay, does the script demand it? Okay, then this is the way. That's fine. Fuck this show.
It's not so much rule-free as rules all over the place. It's a new rule every time. The armourer is basically one of the Knights of Knee at this point from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, just making shit up as she goes along.
But he's not old enough. We want a shrubbery.
If I may, sorry, Ruin.
It's okay.
I will just say, Franco Walker, rest in peace, Caliclon. Lovely 143 people who are watching this. When you're taking part in another stream, spread the word of our sad loss. Rest in peace, Caliclon. Spread the word.
Brown, yeah. Brownie's
Some
not
of us
so
do.
concerned about growing his channel as audience, the likes of
Rest in peace,
subscriptions, but
Caliclon.
he just want to see Rest in Peace Calculon appear on some of the streams. There we
I
go.
want it to go viral.
If you're into the really deep lore, though, it's R.I.P. Wade, obviously. So
Well, obviously Wade, but we like Caliclon, don't we?
Can I ask a question? So when Baby Yoda looks into the water, was he communicating with that monster below?
Oh, I didn't think
Possibly.
about that.
Yes.
Maybe.
Was
He
he?
I
knew
didn't
it was
think about
down there.
that.
He knew it was down there. Yeah.
And
I'm
you
just
might
saying-
think, sorry, see after you.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you might think that given they're like rehabiting this planet, and it's not that far down in the waters of their most sacred religious pool, that they will very soon themselves just happen to dive down there and think, oh shit, a dinosaur. But I'm pretty sure the next season won't do that until right at the end.
And
If there
also,
is a next
right,
season.
going back to "This is the way" crap. Okay, so they said the
is the way.
Mandalorian can't take their helmets off. Yet they accept all these Mandalorians that take their helmets off. It's
Yeah.
just like,
They
so what
changed
does
their
the way
minds.
mean? Yeah, what does
The-
it actually mean?
Nothing.
I don't
It
know.
means
Somebody's
nothing,
going to
right?
publish a book called The Way of Mandalore at one point. I'm just thankful out of the entire scene he didn't end up being called Din
Yeah, there'll be-
Skywalker.
Yep, there'll be about 75 billion editions though, because they're always changing their mind. Hostman Socrates for $5. Mando the stupid, the girl boss, and the ugly fat bitch.
That's the whole season. He's wrapped it
No.
up.
Can
Postman's
you go
just
back one
basically
slide, please?
go back one for you,
Go
Z,
back
and I
one
think
slide. You see this
that-
image here?
I do.
There's about 300 Mandalorians when the Forge is relit, during an energy crisis, no less. I counted them briefly.
Wow.
There is a minimum viability of population hypothesis called the 50-500 rule. It suggests
Oh.
that the minimum population, a size of 50, would be necessary to combat inbreeding, and a minimum of 500 individuals would be needed to reduce genetic drift. So, judging by the number of Mandalorians left alive and in that chamber, they're going to be needing sunshine buses and padded helmets within 3 years.
You don't get
but
that on
I
Nerd
know
Rotic.
that's analysis. How about that? Put that in your pipe, critical drinker. This is what we do over here. But we love them all.
They might breed like ants, in which case it's Lizzo lays all the eggs and then out they come.
God, Lordy, please.
What, are you saying that Bo-Katan becomes
Moving
the Queen
on.
Mandalorian and she's like hoisted up,
Oh,
laying
don't
eggs
give
them
for all the
ideas.
fresh-
Come on,
Oh,
we
my
got-
goodness.
She's just
We got
pinioned there.
We
and
got
then-
4 minutes to put this puppy to bed. Come on.
Good God, don't give them ideas. I just want to point out, Z said how many the Mandos there were, about 500. I made that about 470 more than there is in the city we see shortly.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll get there shortly. So me and
That's
Brownie
going to be one
fighting over
fucking
Just
gas
move
bill,
it.
wasn't
Just
it?
move it towards Mr. Miyagi, please, because I'm getting.
Oh, you just want to get
really
we're
bored with
getting
this.
there.
We've only
Don't
got a
worry.
few slides left.
We're getting there.
This is the same CGI from She-Hulk, minus the huts.
Who cares? Move on. Oh,
We're
this
in
is
the,
where you see Baby Yoda's feet, don't you, in this scene? The
Um,
first time you see his little feet.
I think that's a foot fetish confession there, folks. You heard it here.
Oh, sorry, I just got distracted by the grinning cowboy at the back.
Oh,
Here we
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Sorry, Brian. Sorry, mate.
Who's
There
the
he
white
is,
cat in the
folks.
hat? Who's the white cat in the hat?
Yes, I mean, we know Filoni's played a part in this series, but at least he was just the voice of a guy in a suit. Favreau, but no, Filoni has to be himself in the bar, wearing the hat, basically looking directly at the camera. He might as well have waved at the fucking
The
camera. It was
decline in
that
talent.
obvious.
If you think of all the great directors who give themselves cameos in their work, Hitchcock did it. I think Kubrick did it a few times. Peter Jackson did it in Lord of the Rings. They at least took the time to make sure they looked like they belonged in the world they've set themselves in. They didn't just like sit there grinning at the camera, wearing their own fucking hat. What are you doing?
Saying I'm showrunner now.
Well, he doesn't care, does he?
He's like M. Night Shyamalan, the way he's inserting himself in all these goddamn shows. So Baby Yoda's on the bar eating bar snacks. Mr. Miyagi is chatting to Mando. Mando makes a proposition, basically to work for the Republic as a.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh God!
What a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
On a
Well,
selective
I-
basis. But then the question is how the hell
Not
does
officially, though.
how does this pilot get the money from the New Republic to pay Mando without the New Republic noticing that money is being siphoned off to private contractors? Like, he would have to go above himself. The whole point of episode 3 or 4, was it, is that he has to get sign-offs from people above him to make any minor decision. But in this one, no. In this one, it's just, yeah, I'll pay you like unlimited money to do unlimited jobs potentially. No one's going to ask questions about that, even though we showed that they did.
I think there's
it's
an easy
bullshit.
workaround for this. Because if you remember, he's the traffic police, so we can just put out fake fines.
Probably.
Oh yeah, very good.
Speed cameras.
Yeah.
In space.
So we return to, is it
God,
Navarro? Is that
no.
the giant city, the giant highly populated city of Navarro?
And
Where,
in case you missed it earlier, on the shelf at the top of the bar, they were just in, there was a destroyed IG unit's head. There it is. Mando says, I want payment and I want the head. I want head, basically.
I want head. I demand this.
And so they take that, and that immediately makes the new IG unit effectively the same as the nurse droid from season 1, even though the nurse droid from season 1 was only a nurse droid because someone specifically engineered it to be that way. It wasn't that way by nature, and Mando can't possibly have done that himself, but because it's nice and cute, I guess he can.
Root, you're going to read that?
Yeah, I bet I had.
Witty
It's from
check.
Hostman Socrates splashing the cash, another
Yes, bless him.
$5, crisp $5, and he says, Quentin Tarantino and Orson Welles did cameos. Filoni's associated himself with the two biggest narcissists in Hollywood. Ooh, I can't believe I didn't make that short list, but never mind. So we've got Grief Karga thanking Mando. We've got IG-11, as he's now renamed, I believe. He's paraded as, and there's your city. There's the entire city
12
there.
people.
Yep, the entire city there, folks. And they've now got IG-11 to protect them, which is great news. And then, hey, I can't believe it, but we're getting there, folks.
Nice pad, isn't it?
He's got a ranch. He's got a little outbuilding. He's basically a retirement home where he gets to sit and watch Baby Yoda being
Look
cruel
around
to
with
animals. Yeah, we haven't got that shot, but
Oh, but did you see the post-credit sequence?
don't take the piss.
Hold on. So, do you see how it ended?
Yeah,
with like a little cartoon circle.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes.
Yes.
That was just ridiculous. I was
Yes,
like, what the hell?
I'm glad you mentioned that. You mega geek, yes.
It was
Strange
so weird.
ending.
Nothing even happened in it that made it worthwhile. It wasn't even funny. It was just okay.
I don't think we're going to see it again, but that's just me.
No.
I wouldn't put it past
Rue,
that.
do you want to take us to the end, and I will flash the marks up for the boys? And
Yes,
girls
you
and
take
do
over
slides
the
and do
marks. I
slides.
will do
'Cause we're at the end now, aren't we?
the
So
fun graphics while I chat to
I'll-
the team.
I'll do these
You're doing the scores, Brown, yes?
and the scores and the slides. Yeah.
And the slides. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
I'll just, that frees up both of my hands and I won't tell you what I'm going to do with them. But I will chat to the guys because we've got there not only the end of this episode, but the end of Mando season 3. And I want your thoughts, not just on this episode, but on the season as a whole. So, Brian, we're going to start with you, sir. What are your closing thoughts, season 3 in the finale?
I think it's been a massive disappointment. Even how much I've had to drink. This massive disappointment overall. We're just the very ending is we're just back to where we were in season 2. Basically, the Mando and Grogu situation is now completely reset. The parameters for the show entirely reset, which is maybe not such a bad thing because I think that's how the show probably works at its best. I think they at least tried to tie up the loose ends, but they got there very shambolically. The last 5 minutes, I think, gave us a reasonable ending. But what a terribly convoluted mess it was to get there. There's been very little of this I've enjoyed, basically because I don't care about the characters. It was a slog even to get through this episode, despite all the actions I said before. I think I'd give this a rather scathing 5 out of 10 for this finale.
Can you
5
hold on
out of
that
10.
last one,
Okay.
Brown?
Is that
Go back on the last
is
one.
that for the episode or the series?
Well, we're doing
Just for the episode.
Yeah, we'll do episode and then we'll
Okay.
take season as well.
So
that one, Ian.
just briefly, yeah. Why is Mandalorian flying a TIE fighter in that shot there? Do you reckon
Ooh.
that the story was changed for some reason?
Good spot.
Why? Why?
I think that is
That
one
looks
of the
like a
shots that's
trooper,
actually
a trooper.
makes it into the film, into the series.
But it's obviously a Mandalorian flying that TIE fighter.
Don't think
It's
it
not-
is. I think it's one of the ships that they have. If you
Yeah, it
look
looks like
closely.
it does look like a tie, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's covered in one of the slides, Ian. I could be wrong.
Is that a TIE fighter he's flying?
My guess would be that it's one of the drop ships because they did steal them from the Imperials.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But I'm not sure about that. That might be me filling in gaps that don't exist.
And also, they're in space as well, aren't they? Well, they weren't in space in the show. Interesting. Sorry,
that's okay.
Come on,
Brian. Before we move on from you, so you're giving this? What did you give this episode, Brian? The finale?
I'm giving the finale a scathing 5.
A 5, and I also need your score overall for the entire season 3. How does that level
Again,
out?
I think, like Ian, I think there might have been something half decent in there, a bit more character development, focusing mainly on Bo-Katan, making it the Bo-Katan show, basically. But I think it's so convoluted, so many extra steps. I think, as Lord said, a terribly scathing 4. Overall.
4 overall for the series. Okay. Thank you, Brian. Z, always interested in your analysis, sir. So what are your thoughts? Firstly, on the episode.
On the
and
episode,
then the season.
It's a 5 out of 10. There's lots of action there. But again, a lot of it does not make any kind of sense at all. And I really think they've wasted this season. It could have been the Book of Bo-Katan. As something completely separate. I was actually looking forward to Mando resuming his position as a bounty hunter this episode. But this season, but didn't get that. He was just a passenger in his own show, just tying each one together. Terrible.
So 5 for the episode, Z. What about the season as a whole?
4.
Oh, 4. Okay.
4.
Okay, we've got a consistency here. Lord Chord, your closing thoughts, sir.
I'm disappointed by this episode because there's a reason I haven't given previous episodes 1, which is that I assumed that the show always had new depths to plumb. This episode didn't quite do that. This episode was probably in the upper half of the overall season's run. So I guess for the episode, probably, based on previous scores I've given, probably 4. But I now realize that I should have rated earlier episodes lower. So the overall season's ranking will be somewhere between 2 and 3, I think. Optimistically 3. But on the same logic, season 4 will probably be worse than this. So I have to save some scores below. Yeah, so this episode, 4 out of 10, based on purely a Mandalorian metric. If it's compared to any competently written work of fiction, then the entire thing is underwater at this point.
Oh, I do love you the way you get so deep into the analysis of the scoring, Geordie. I've
been pissed since like minute 10 because it's the finale, and like normally I uprate things when I'm drunk, but I still can't go above a 4. So that must say something about the show.
Jaden Smith eyes rather conveniently timed there.
Yes.
9 out of 11. Okay. Thank you for that, Chordy. Mega Geek, can't wait to hear what you think. We could be in the minus figures here, folks.
Well, the episode, I'd give it a 2 for the visual effects. Visual effects was good. So is it out of 5? Is it, or 10?
10.
10, like always 10.
Okay, 2. It's still a 2 then.
Jeez.
And the actual season itself is definitely a 3, and that's because of special effects. There was nothing worth my while in this show at all. The only good thing about it was the visual effects. Everything else was nonsense, absolute shit. It was a waste of my time. Time I won't get back, put it that way. So there you go.
That's a really good point as well, though, because if you go and speak to any like aspiring writer, someone who wants to get into movie making or TV series, you can point to the original Star Wars trilogy and say, look, this is why this is so successful. This is what it does that's brilliant. This is why it touches on these timeless themes. The characters are brilliant. Everything about it is iconic for a reason. And then you get to The Mandalorian, and then you turn around to someone who wants to get into the industry, who wants to become a writer, and you say, well, what are you learning from this show? And the answer has to be...
Fuck all.
Well, no, it's not even fuck all. This is what you don't do. Like this is the
Ooh.
antithesis of good.
That's
I actually know a
harsh.
teacher
That's
in
harsh.
LA that actually teaches with She-Hulk on how not to write screenplay. I'm not joking. He literally told me this. He said he's using She-Hulk as a template on how not to write a TV show.
Wow.
This
So
is a
there
sore
you go.
subject for me because I've heard the same being said about my Last Jedi, and I don't want to go there.
That too,
But
okay.
I get it loads of times. Like if I'm doing a video critiquing something, say like MCU Phase 4 or The Mandalorian, whatever it is, someone will say, well, if you applied the same standards to the Star Wars original trilogy, you'll find the same criticisms. And I look at them, I think, well, no, I absolutely wouldn't. Those things do the basics so very well that they've become cultural mainstays and they've become iconic. This thing does not touch the fucking toenails of those products. This is just so far below anything that gave rise to the franchise. It should... There will be studies done in future, if there is a future to the culture, as to how Star Wars went from the heights of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back to The Mandalorian and The Last Jedi. The decline in this franchise is just staggering.
It's not that. It's look, I suspect, and I think Ian agrees with me, that Favreau had really good scripts. He had the basis of a good idea for season 3, and it just got ruined by KK and the other fellow with it. Yeah, Filoni, and so that's why we haven't heard from him, because he's just left the project. And you know what? Right, I'm going to put my neck out there. I think that's actually what happened to this show.
I'll agree with that. Yeah. Fav left, and he was given a sweet deal when he walked out, just to save face of everybody.
Well, Brownie, don't bury a lead, because I'm coming straight to you to get your episode summary score.
Episode first, yes. I quite enjoyed the episode on the second time. I could just sit down and watch it without doing slides. There was a lot of, oh, look at that, which is always good in my book. It was a lot better than all the previous episodes. I'm going to give this one, my default is 5 out of 10 for all the special effects, blah, 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 all that stuff. 6.
Oh, we're in the
6
upper echelon.
perhaps.
Okay.
Series. I'm going to give the series 5, and that's purely because of the quality of the everybody else, apart from Filoni and KK, were doing their jobs.
Interesting. Okay.
That's
Slightly more positive from Brown. No, all opinions welcome, Brown, even wrong ones. So no one's. I can't
Go on, son,
really.
fill your boots.
I can't put it any better than you all already have. Other than to say, episode 4, season 3. It's been pretty pants, all said and done. But hey, it's given us
episode 4.
The episode rating for season rating 3. I'm just using brevity, Brown, because it's 1:49 a.m. and I've got an hour's drive home. God damn it! But look, I just want to say I've had so many hours of fun. So I am grateful to the Mandalorian season 3 for giving me this opportunity to come on here with you, man babies. My colleagues on the panel and the man babies in the chats. It's been a joy and a pleasure, I have to say. And small text on screen. You know what to do, man babies. Subscribe, like.
Let's just a couple of super chats. MGK's 4, 220 CA dollars. This is a waste. This is to waste more of Ian's time. Say it's
shit.
And there's another one here. Here you go, Flopmeister. Great job again, gents. What a great season.
I would a second Ruin's point there. I mean, it's as depressing as the state of Star Wars is. There are two approaches. You can either go very miserable and defeatist and say, look, this is just awful. Let's all be incredibly depressed about it. Or you can do what I think we've done on these successive streams, which is to have a huge amount of fun with these. It's like I've looked forward to these every single week, more than basically any other stream. And you can take a lot of solace in having fun at other people's expense. If we've already given up on this show being a good thing, at least we can have as much fun with it as we possibly can. And chat's been an integral part of that. But the panel has been fantastic, and I've been really looking forward to these, and I hope we'll do them again soon.
Here you go, folks. Bank of Hostman, $5. Thanks for giving me an idea for a running gag when I finally start to channel a terrorist mouse droid. Sounds all right to me.
Well, it's emotional, but it's reached that point, folks. It's this delirious hour of the morning where we have to say farewell, both to Mando Season 3, to my colleagues on the panel, and to the man babies in the chat. But we will be back, won't we, Brownie? And we're not going to wait until Mando Season 4. We're going to be back sooner.
Yeah, we've got an idea for the Star Wars Wednesday show. Hopefully, well, we're going to start doing it next week. So this week I'm going to start putting it together. Robot Head is going to be involved.
Ooh.
So we're just trying to work out a few details, and we'll be back next Wednesday, same time. More Star Wars.
Hopefully
good Star
Wars.
Yes. Yeah.
So there's that to look forward to, folks. But yes, other than that, I think we should just thank everyone, share the love, and well, go top ourselves, I guess. I think there's nothing else.
No, after I've watched Picard tomorrow.
Oh, after Picard. Okay, I'll give you a pass on that one.
You got
I just, final, sending my love to the chat. They have entertained
Chat, you're wonderful. Thank you, everybody.
endlessly for weeks and weeks and weeks. Absolutely
Don't forget,
superb.
spread the word. Rest in peace, Calculon. Start spreading the word.
That's all he wants, folks. He doesn't want subscriptions. He doesn't want likes. He doesn't want super chats.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
He just wants RIP Calculon. So I just want to thank not Brian Young. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ruin. Top work this season, by the way. Thanks also to Z, Lost Chord, Mega, Brun, and the always excellent chat. Thanks very much, folks.
Well done, Brian, and excellent production work. As always, sir, we do thoroughly appreciate it. Z, you're the goddamn sexiest droid in the galaxy. Thank you, sir.
I am.
He's going to agree with that one.
Too.
Lord Chord, you're a pleasure and a joy, and I'm glad you've enjoyed it as much as we all have, sir. Thank you very much.
Oh God, no! On top hosting work, I don't know many other people who would have gone to the lengths of challenging chat to turn Mandalorian tropes into song lyrics, and then written most of them himself, and then insisted the panel sing them. So, top work, really,
that's
really
okay.
great stuff.
Well, don't drop off yet. We've got Mega Geek's big outro song he's been working on. So, Mega Geek, I just want to say before you warm up, thank you very much, Mega Geek. Mega Geek, I know you've endured this more than enjoyed it, but I actually think secretly you've enjoyed a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, no, it's been fun. I mean, obviously it's been fun. If you guys weren't roasting it, I probably wouldn't have watched this show because last season was bollocks as well, wasn't it? Let's face it. So
Boba Fett,
yeah. So thanks for having me, I guess.
Cheers, Ian. Always appreciate coming on.
We love it.
No worries.
And not last but not least, it is the man who we like to rib, we like to prod and poke and wind him up. But you know what? He does a good damn job here. He's got a great channel. Brownie, I'm showing you the love. And Brownie,
cheers,
most
everybody.
of all, thank you for letting me take the reins every Wednesday. Folks, it's a wrap. We love you all.
I would say please like, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ruin, are you going to sing us out?
Yeah,
go on.
What do you want? Do you want? Would you like me to give you the rendition of my opening song this evening? This is the way. Okay.
I think that's it, folks. We'll be back hopefully Sunday. Hopefully.
And now the end is near.
Do I get seeing as you can't? Can someone give me a vocal backing track? Is that possible?
No.
What is the song?
It's My Way.
Ooh.
Come on, Geordie, you can do it.
Let
I
us
don't
Google
think I know
one.
it well enough.
And
seen
now, is near.
Please end the stream.
Much
Please.
Just
more
get on
than
with
that.
it.
We
Do it,
said
do it, do
this is the way.
Go on, do the opening one. What you did, that was quite good.
And now the
Oh,
end
God.
is near, and so we face the final chapter. Man babies will roast Mando. We'll do the gag of who would give one. I've watched Lizzo and Black and Earl Chris Lloyd, but not much Pascal, and more, much more than that. All together now, man babies. We said
did it.
this is the way.
You failed at the last bit.
Oh,
There you
for
go.
God's sake.
That's it,
now.
folks. We love you all. We love the panel. We love everybody. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next
Ta-da.
Hey.
time.
Goodbye, man
Bye.
babies.
And as we know, it's timing.